Hey everyone, it's James, host and lead producer of the Weekly DADCast, streamed live at twitch.tv/weeklydadcast. Find more DADCast episodes alongside with DADCast After Dark on iTunes or go to weeklydadcast.podbean.com. If you have a question for us, email us at officialdadcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at officialdadcast. For our stream archives and other DADCast content, go to YouTube and search DADCast. Links to all of this and more in the description below. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the Weekly DADCast, the only place you can listen to these these titans of gaming and anime. With us today is our fearless leader, branded with an Ouroboros tattoo and renamed Gluttony after eating his entire Thanksgiving meal without chewing.
Wait.
We have the homunculus, James.
Wait, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't eat
Also
the
with
entire
us-
meal.
You ate all of your meal without chewing. I heard about it.
James is eventually just gonna suck us into his endless void of his stomach, and we'll be trapped in there forever.
Please don't bring your vor fetish into my Christian
He's just
podcast.
Kirby.
He's
Also
just-
with us today is a man inspired by Golden Age comics, but of course, the anime shit.
Oh
It's
no.
faster than the speeding dialogue of Tatami Galaxy. More powerful than a shonen protag. Able to leap tall Tonkabon stacks in a single bound.
Wait.
Not a bird. He's not a plane. He's Super Weeb. Or Skylar.
I guess
Super
that's
weeb.
cool. I'll take it. I love those slasher cartoons from Superman anyway. So
Yeah, I fucking love him. I thought about that earlier. I was like, man, I appreciate when he was limited. Remember when he was just as strong as a train?
It was really
Not fucking
remember
flying
when he had
planets
a hard-
around.
I remember when he had a hard time fighting like a big clunky robot that had a big hole in its stomach to put jewels inside of.
Remember when Superman was an interesting character? Those were the days.
I wasn't
I
alive
do.
for then.
None of us were. Because guess
Also-
what? Superman was his most interesting at his conception.
No,
Yeah.
because also Superman is a thing, and that's a good comic. He's cool in that.
Yeah, in
I
that
was
one
fine with
comic.
it. I didn't love it, but it wasn't bad.
What about like Red Sun? That's okay too.
Yeah,
I
but that's
want
not
to read
Superman
Red
as.
Sun.
But that's just like a reinvention of Superman. That's not like Superman as we know him.
Yeah, but that's like you can do things with these characters, right? Like not every single version of Batman is the same Batman.
I mean, if you
know,
have to, I don't know. I would say,
Batman exists.
I don't know. I would say like if you have to completely reinvent the character into a different situation just to make him interesting, it's probably not a good character.
Yeah, but
I
also
don't think
also
it's done with the
Superman,
purpose of making him interesting. I think it's just like a different way to tell the same story that's been told.
Yeah, because the thing again is that also Superman is like a complete reconstruction of his character from like his base components as well. So that one didn't change him at all. It just kind of like took him to the natural extreme of what that character should be like.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh
But,
yeah. I'm Claude. I didn't
yeah.
introduce myself.
Yeah, he's Claude. We just keep him around for diversity quotas.
I mean, I don't know. I could make I like evil shit. I'm an apostle at some point in time. Leader of the Neo Band of the Hawks raid division, whatever.
You're
And
you're our in-house supervillain.
Yeah, sure,
James is-
that works.
James is the one that gets crushed by Zod when he transforms as a show of force.
I'm gonna do a bad CG transformation, and James will die.
Hooray! Anyway, so we'll just slowly fade in to a really bad CG model. We'll also slowly fade into a really bad segue. John has a fan question for us, and if you'd like to send in your fan questions, you can send us in at
I've
officialdadcast@gmail.com.
James, I've been watching a lot of Say James stream lately, and
Yeah.
what gets me about watching his stream is that his segue game is so on point.
It really is.
He
It's
makes it
super
seem so
good.
effortless.
I mean, I guess you
I'm
kind of have to
really-
develop that though, because he does commentary for fighting games all the time, right? So you'd have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really need to segue that often in fighting game commentary.
I mean, you kind of do. Like Marvel versus Capcom 3, like people were segueing like a motherfucker. That shit was hype. Anyway, John sent in a question here asking, hey, what's your favorite fighting game character? But not for their moveset, their story. I'm gonna say my favorite is actually Dan from Street Fighter, because this whole thing is just like, I want to avenge my dad, so teach me how to do the fight good like Ryu and Ken. And he's like, nah man, you've got too much evil intent in your heart. You can't do much other than like half a Hadoken. So Dan just goes on to fucking do his own thing and isn't he like, he's not a movie star, is he? He's just a guy.
No, Dan is just a guy. I think
He's a guy. He does a training course. He does his own like studio thing that he does.
I'm pretty sure he hangs out with Blanca and Sakura, and they're
He
big
does
losers.
do that. Yeah, the big loser
At the
team.
arcade.
Yeah. And his whole thing is just like, you know, he's a wannabe and he's jealous of Ryu and Ken, but because he's too bitter inside, he can't actually do anything. He can't learn how to be a cool guy.
He's still better than Sean.
He's still better than Sean.
Because he can make a fireball.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Sean whip his ass in a fight?
Debatable. Maybe?
Because Sean can actually fight. He just fights with a fucking basketball. Dan's whole
Yeah,
deal
Sean
is that,
Sean
like...
fights dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say you were fighting clean. I just said, what do you want to fight?
Yeah. But
I don't know. I think Dan
Sean probably could
edge
win
it
in a
out.
fight just looking at their moves, right? Because Sean's moves are like, hey, I'm gonna jump on you and beat you and punch you in the face,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah. And Dan's moves are all goofy and stuff, but like, I guess the thing is that Dan somehow it was better at learning the whatever the school is called, Shotokan school.
Yeah. I think it. Why did the term Sen Ryukin come to my mind?
I think that I know that Shotokan is like it's like a thing people made up. It's not like it's not what the school is actually called. It's like I think it was a translation thing for the American version.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that though. I don't know. But yeah. I guess my favorite fighting game character with story is like I think the cop out answer is like Baiken, because her story is just guts. She's just guts by the samurai, and that's cool.
She is?
Yeah, she was like in this like, I think she's one of the few Japanese characters in the story, right? And she was in this village, and her village got all completely destroyed by that man who was the main villain of Guilty Gear, and then he like tried to fight her. She tried to fight him, and she got one of her eyes taken out and her arm cut off, and she was like about to get revenge. And so her story, she's like traveling the world in order to get revenge on that man. And she's got one eye, and she has a prosthetic arm with a big
titties.
Chain hook.
Is it
thing.
a prosthetic? I thought it was just a fucking chain attached to her.
It's literally it's a chain with a claw on the end of it. Although
Damn.
also it sometimes is a cannon, because fuck you. And she also has a gun in there too. Her arm is like ridiculous. It's like her moves, right? Normally you have the grab, right, which is the chain that pulls you in, and then her jump dust is a cannon, and then she has a projectile from her command gun. It's like just like a flintlock rifle kind of thing, like a musket. So she has a lot of shit in there. Yeah, so she's cool. I can't think of a better example though, because I don't really care about fighting game stories that much.
Mine is, I don't even know his story. I just like his story in full. I just like his demeanor and like all the like after fight things. Even when he loses too, is a Slayer, because the concept of a all powerful vampire who loses because he wasn't even trying and doesn't give a shit is really cool to me.
Slayer's pretty fucking cool. Also, his thing with dandyism. Slayer actually is pretty cool story-wise too. He's obviously a vampire, and vampires are like crazy powerful in setting because Japan. And then the girl he married, Sharon, is like she's like an angel or something, and that's why she never dies whenever he drinks her blood. She's apparently like more powerful than he is because of memes. And then his deal is that he's the leader of the Assassin's Guild, which is like the people like Zato and Venom and Milia are all part of like the Assassin's Guild or whatever, and that's like an entity within the story. And then I think he like had a thing with Soul back when he was part of the Holy Order, but I forget how that worked. But yeah, Slayer's Red.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
cool. I guess that's it.
I guess
Yeah.
that's it. All right. Well, thank you, John, for saying your question. And as always, you can email us at officialdadcast@gmail.com. And I guess we'll just move right on to the weeks. So I'll go first. My week was pretty good. Obviously, we had Thanksgiving this week.
Ate your whole dinner without chewing once.
Look, listen, okay? It's not my fault my family fed me applesauce for the 18th time this year, okay? Look, it's not my fault.
No, your mouth works like fucking Vanilla Ice's stand.
Wow.
Just throw shit in there and just you hear this weird sound. And it goes somewhere, but no one knows.
It's on forever.
Damn. That hurts. Yeah, so I went up to Tampa for Thanksgiving, saw a bunch of my family. We had 2 turkeys this year, one like normal one and then like a Cajun turkey that was delicious. Had a great time. Drove back the same night. Got a new job with a new company. My first shift starts on Monday. That'll be fun. And I finally finished Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 anime adaptation. And without saying anything, obviously, because spoilers, we'll have a spoiler cast on it at some point in the future. Wow, that is a really satisfying ending, and I'm really disappointed that there's only like 40 chapters after the ending of the anime.
They're long chapters, though.
Are they like how many pages are we talking?
It's not pages; it's dialogue.
Okay, so it's a short chapter. It's normal size chapters. It's just lots of reading. That's all.
Yeah.
Togashi is writing a book now. He's decided that Hunter x Hunter is going to become a novel series.
I mean, at that point, he might finish it faster. Who knows?
You think so, but he's still taking hiatuses, like he just announced.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, just announced the Hunter x Hunter hiatus again. I'm sure I'll be able to finish that pretty quickly. It doesn't matter if it's a lot of dialogue. It doesn't shorten. That doesn't really lengthen the reading time for me.
Adding more dialogue doesn't make it longer to read than if it had less dialogue.
No, because I read pretty quickly, so it really isn't a factor for me.
James, you can't read. Don't let it. Don't let it.
Hey, I had to read the subtitles, therefore I can read at some point. I have to read this docket. I can read words. Been playing more Monster Hunter. I'm at right before high rank still, but I actually have set a personal goal where like I don't want to move into high rank until I've defeated a Rathalos and Diablos like on my own or like with minimal help or whatever.
Okay.
So right now, what I'm doing is because I had been using dual blades the entire game, and Rathalos and Diablos have wings. It's really Rathalos is the problem because Rathalos flies all the time. I'm just like doing my best to stockpile Gunpowder 3 to make into higher level ammo.
I mean, if you're having a problem with Rathalos, why don't you just stock up on flash bomb or flash bugs?
Because I want to start using my guns, but I want plentiful ammo to use my guns.
Okay, so that's fine. I just thought you were saying like your issue was like, hey, I use dual blades and the Rathalos is a problem. I was like, flash bombs get them immediately. That's the easiest way to deal with them.
Yeah, but I did build those rifles. I should probably use them once.
Yeah, I'm not saying not to.
Yeah. So right now I'm working on I have a Madness Rifle 2, and then I'm working on the heavy gun over in. Oh, I forget which tree I'm working on, but it's I think I actually have to switch to one of the other trees that doesn't have Wyvern Snipe on it, because that's right now my highest level heavy gun has a Wyvern Snipe, and that's not going to be really useful with Rathalos. So yeah, that's what I've been working on with that. The Warframe Fortuna update came out, and that's been really fun. Love and Venus is a new open world, and that's been really cool. K-Drive / hover bikes are fun to mess around with. I'll kind of just be banging at that every once in a while. And I've just been working on some other personal projects and stuff on my own. So, yeah, that was my week. How was your week, Skylar?
It was pretty okay. I didn't really do that much. Yeah, I would say Thanksgiving this year, which was nice. My dad always makes. My dad is very good at cooking turkey, like in the orthodox way, but making sure it doesn't get dry. Like I think that's a very common problem people have with cooking turkey is that it's really hard.
Yeah.
Make like that without having it be dry. So it's come out very good the past couple of years. So I'm learning how to do it well, which makes me happy. My family is doing well. I get along with my family pretty okay. So Thanksgiving is not as painful as I've heard for some other people. Other than that, though, I just yesterday I went up to visit my friend in Orlando because he was at Fort Wilderness in Disney. So I went to go say hi. But other than that, the only really interesting thing I've done this week is watch like 50 episodes of Hunter x Hunter.
38, but yeah.
We've watched 38 episodes, yeah.
Started on Monday.
Yeah. No, yeah, Monday. Yeah, so I'm in there. We're going. Me and Claude are going. We're watching it. It's pretty fucking great. Last thing we did was we finished the Heaven's Arena arc completely. And so far, it's pretty fucking fantastic. And I'm impressed. I'm simultaneously incredibly impressed by this series, and I'm incredibly confused by how so many people didn't learn from it to do things better than they did. It's like the series is like old. Like it came out in like the mid '90s, and there's like shonen series that have come after it that didn't learn anything from the way it fixed shonen problems, which is baffling to me.
Yeah, it's really disheartening, which is why I'm doing my best, or was doing my best, to tell all the Naruto fans that I know, like, hey, just watch Hunter x Hunter. It's better in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite things you were saying about that is when we got to the episode where it was basically a full episode of Gon and Killua hanging out, and you were like, how did he fuck up Naruto and Sasuke so bad?
Yeah, I feel like Kishimoto wanted Naruto and Sasuke to be friends in a way. Obviously, I don't think he wanted them to be friends in the same way as Killua and Gon, but he really wanted you to feel like they had a friendship. And it's like, man, he messed it up so bad. I don't think a single person in the universe thinks that Naruto and Sasuke were friends up until the point where they suddenly became friends for no reason. Like it was happening like in late Shippuden, where all of a sudden now Sasuke and Naruto are like fine with each other. Before that point, we were supposed to have feelings about their friendship that didn't exist. I don't understand.
Yeah, if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, and you're like, hey, I'm a fan of Naruto. I'm upset at these opinions, but like you haven't seen or heard of Hunter x Hunter, watch the 2011 version of Hunter x Hunter. I watched this series like in 2014, I'd like to say, and it's been my favorite anime since then, and I've been screaming and screaming and screaming since I've been in this Discord for everyone to watch it, and now people are watching and you hear their opinions. So I highly advise you to watch Hunter x Hunter if you have not seen it before.
In my personal opinion, it is the best shonen anime of all time.
Thank you. I'm glad that you are enlightened now.
James, just so I can get a variance, who is your favorite character? Because I know who Claude's favorite characters are, I think. There's a couple of them.
Let me check.
You know,
yeah, I just have to check. What was it? I typed them up to Claude because he asked me at one point, but I forgot what they were. Do you have to remember, Claude?
Because my list was Killua, Kurapika, and Hisoka, and yours was Gon, Kurapika, and Hisoka.
Ah, okay.
Because you said you liked Gon more than Killua.
Yeah, Killua doesn't honestly have a whole lot going for him, in my opinion.
He has
I like
a lot
Killua.
going for him, in my opinion. He's
I-
great.
I mean,
I
his
like
interactions
him.
are great, and I love seeing him like with Gon. But like in terms of like character plot, it's like character arc. It's like I don't know. There's not a whole lot. There's like one big thing, and that kind of just gets resolved at a point.
Well, yeah, so, because this wouldn't even be a spoiler for Skylar, like, a big part of it comes down to, like, he's attached to Gon for Gon's reason, for Gon's, like, what his mission is, and he's like, I'm just kind of drifting at this point, and you're my only friend. So, I mean, it's understandable for him not to have, like, a ton going on, but I also don't believe you have to have a lot going on to be a good character. But, that, it's not a conversation that, like, really needs to happen right now.
Yeah. So far, my list is actually the same as James's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when also I had the thing where I feel like I'm more poised to like Kurapika more than I like him a lot now because I think he's cool. Like mostly just I think that he has potential to be a cool character.
Kurapika, or are you talking about Killua? Because you said
Kurapika.
Kurapika.
Okay, you're gonna see him next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is he poised to be a cool character?
I think his deal is cool, and there are things that I kind of, I guess, know, maybe I don't know. There are like wisps of things that I've seen in the past that make me think that he's cool, but I barely don't know what they are.
Claude, I'm gonna be as vague as possible, but you should know what I mean. That shot of Kurapika sitting alone.
It was very good.
It
very
is.
good.
It's such a good shot. And that in credits, that last credits sequence.
Mhm.
I like how they did that. Doesn't give you closure or anything. It just kind of neatly wraps things up. There's one aspect of it that I don't quite understand, but it would be a spoiler if I talked about it. I will just say Butler.
Oh, yeah. That's you have to
It's
look
really-
at the manga for that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. You know who doesn't get anything at all? Leorio.
I was like, you can just leave it be. But yeah, he of the main characters, he does get the least play.
Yeah.
Poor boy. I mean, I kind of
He's focusing on being a
I kind
doctor
of
though. He's
expect that a little bit, to be honest, based on like his character, I guess. But that's fine.
He's a 14-year-old that looks
Like,
like
hey,
a grown-ass
you.
man.
Fight Man. No, not I said Fight Man. He's like, hey, you,
Fight.
boy in green. What's your deal? I want to become a hunter and find my dad. It's like, okay, what about you? I used to be an assassin and I like hanging out with my friends, so we'll probably do stuff together. I was like, all right, what about you? I want revenge. Okay, what about you? Yeah, I want to go to medical school. Like, yeah, you're not gonna follow that guy.
Yeah.
I would want to see how the Hunter x Hunter universe turns to becoming a doctor, like into a battle shonen. That would be interesting.
I'm sure you could do that. I mean, like
Yeah, they're doing that this arc.
I mean, based off of what they do with the last arc, it's like, wow.
Oh, wait, what about
they
Blackjack?
can, what about who?
Huh?
Like not like Hunter x Hunter, but like you said, what doctor? A shonen battle anime that's about a doctor. What about Blackjack?
What's Blackjack?
It's an old Bazooka action series about a doctor.
Oh, the guy with the scar on his face. I mean, I didn't know anything about that. So
Yeah. I guess that's how you would do that then.
I guess maybe, who knows? Can't wait for that Hunter x Hunter spin-off manga about being a
Oh yeah, the one
doctor.
that'll also go on hiatus every couple issues.
Wait,
Yeah, the
there's
one
an
that'll-
actual. Wait, there's an
No.
actual.
No, it was a joke.
Oh, okay. I was really excited for something. Like, what? There's a spin-off manga.
No, I don't even know who I'd want that to follow.
Wanted to follow the Oreo.
I mean, so, I don't really want to say what's going on in the current arc because, like, with all the stuff going on, you have seen him for maybe 2 panels of like the once the thing that actually kickstarts the arc happens, you see him for like 3 panels, and it's hey, you guys still riding high on that last Kurapika arc? Here's another one. And guess what? It's also great.
Good.
Man, anything else on that from you, Skylar?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep going. I mean, I'm saying it's been a bit since I've been able to binge a show this fast. I don't think I've been able to watch a show this quickly since I saw Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that was like a billion years ago. So yeah, I'm liking it a lot. I think it's really fucking cool. It's one of them. It's one of them good anime. You know those ones.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a good anime.
And when you
I
get
think
to the
it's
end,
It's super bingeable as well because of how good the pacing is. Like the pacing is so like.
Oh yeah, it's tight. It's good pacing.
like James, would you agree with like? Because here's what my statement was. I actually compared it to the dude at the beginning of the exam, where it's like he starts walking, you know, everyone's just following him. I compare the beginning of the show to like his just walking. Then he starts going a bit faster, and that's when about Heaven's Arena happens. And he goes into like that weird sprint thing where he's not really sprinting at York New, and then the sprinting up the stairs is Chimera Ant.
Yeah. And then the walk through the fog is the last arc.
Sure. Well, we didn't really see him there where he was because you saw his goofy like pacing and all that in the tunnel. But yeah, sure. It's good stuff. But actually, James, did you see Yu Yu Hakusho?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. If I remember correctly, I don't remember shit all, but I distinctly remember getting up to the Dark Tournament arc, and then I watched the abridged series that Lamentator made years ago. But what were you gonna say? What about it?
Well, it's just because because mainly George, but also Skylar was like, I really like Yu Yu Hakusho, and I was like, Hunter x Hunter is just a better Yu Yu Hakusho.
Damn.
And I was like, but no, and I was like, but you haven't seen it, and I've seen both. But
yeah. I see it, to be honest.
If you're not there yet, next arc you'll really see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna see lots of it.
You'll get. There's a point where he saw. I can't remember her name. The one with like
Ponzu.
Ponzu. That was it. He's like, look at that Botan. And I was like, no. You want to see straight up characters? Hiei is here. You'll see him in York New.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feitan.
Yeah. Feitan. Yeah.
Feitan's fucking cool. But whatever. We'll see him soon enough. To get this moving on as far as my week goes. As a very quick, I played Civilization 5 on the Switch. And yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of strategy games, and when I saw it was like available on Switch, then I was like, I love strategy games. I've not played a console strategy game in forever. And especially could be on the Switch because I like sometimes just bring it with me if I'm like riding with someone somewhere, and I'll just play it there. Or if I gotta go to that bathroom, we'll be there for a while. Let me just take a couple turns. Yeah, I mean, it's Civilization, so if you like strategy games, that's enjoyable. But
does
I
was gonna ask if that runs well, just because.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't noticed any issues with it. With this. There's only one bug I've seen in the game, and it seems to be everyone having it, but it doesn't. If you understand the basics of Civilization, it won't bother you. I was rusty because I haven't played Civ 5 since my deployment, so that was like a good 3 years ago. And I was like, all right, let me play the tutorial. There was a point about like 20 turns into the tutorial where it's like, hey, we're going to show you how to build a settlement or something like that, or not settlement, a district. And you go to build a district, and the game does not recognize your action of saying like place it here, even though it's telling you to place it in a certain spot. And I was like, okay, you can literally not progress through the tutorial. Sometimes it does work, sometimes it does not work. And the tutorial doesn't save, so if it does not work, you have to leave the tutorial and come back and go through that whole 20 turns, which going through all the dialogue for that is about 7 minutes. So it's 7 minutes each time to see if you can even get through the tutorial. So I was like, fuck this, let me just learn on the fly. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's fine. The vast majority of my time got fucked by anime because Sentai Filmworks and Right Stuff Anime, or Right Anime Stuff, whatever the name of the site was, had just a ton of stuff on sale. And a lot of them were series that I was like interested in, but never checked out. And I was like, okay, let me watch 3 to 5 episodes of each of these series I care, or each of these series that was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I like it, I will just buy the Blu-ray and finish it because I can't watch all of these shows in a time.
Damn.
I watched a couple and I didn't get through some of them because there was one show that just demanded my attention and I stuck to it. As far as the ones I did watch, there was Beyond the Boundary, which is like people have been talking about this about like Bunny Girl Senpai, but it's in my opinion it feels kind of like a Monogatari light. Like you could tell the characters have like, I can't even say Monogatari light. I mean, it just has some vibes as far as how the main character works because he's also half immortal.
I heard there's visual elements to that seem very much Monogatari like.
Not particularly, but there's a couple of scenes. The show's gorgeous though. Like it looks absolutely amazing. But you know, that one didn't do it for me. I watched the first episode of Amagi Brilliant Park, and I don't know, it didn't do it for me. So I was like, all right, you know what? I know I said 3 to 5 episodes, but I'm done there. I gave a shot to Armed Girls Machiavellism. And
What?
This is one of those shows that I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone about it because I need to talk about this on podcast. Because I think someone's asking. It's like I'll talk about it later. So what happens is there's this very strict school, right? And it was co-ed, but now it's quote unquote girls only.
Mhm.
And this dude got transferred there because he was like acting up, like he was like a troublemaker or whatever. And he was like, okay, why am I at this all girls school? It's not all girls. It's co-ed. It's just the dudes who were sent there were delinquents. And the girls are allowed to carry actual weapons, like actual swords and shit, and are allowed to discipline the dudes. Like, so they're all just been turned into cross-dressers. There's fat, ugly dudes wearing like girls' clothes, and the main character's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So it's like a battle series kind of, because they're like, hey, you're a troublemaker, I'm gonna get you. And there's like the top 4 of the school, because fuck it, it's anime.
There's always a top 4.
And the thing I would have dropped on the first episode, but the thing that actually makes it interesting is like they really go into like how the fighting styles work, and it comes across like it's actually based off of real fighting styles and what counters what. And I was like, oh, okay, that's actually pretty interesting. And then you get to a certain point where it's like, oh yeah, no, it's a harem show, but the fights are interesting because it's not super over the top. It's pretty believable. But then I burned out on it, and I was like, no, I'm not touching this again.
Damn.
The ones I didn't get to were Gatchaman Crowds and K-On! Because the show I watched...
Really?
No, I knew of it, I just never went around to watching it. But the show that I saw that I was like, holy fuck, I got to episode 5, I was like, let me watch 6. And 6 became 7, and 7 turned into 12, was I watched Mawaru Penguin Drum.
Oh,
Hey!
Hey!
Yeah,
Wow.
so...
Hey, boy, you're watching that. I heard you're in there.
Yeah, I am. I planned on only watching 5 because it's like I'm not passing up that deal. It was $9.
Yeah,
per
man,
disc.
I got that set for $80, and now it's $20 on sale.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, now's the best time, no, a good time as ever. And I got the first episode. Was like, all right, I kind of like the whatever you want to even call the that other world that they're in, where she's wearing the hat. I love that character. He's like,
Subway.
let me prove to you I'm not your real sister. I was like, okay, what's she gonna do? Some weird magic shit? And she's just in a cow costume. Like, your sister couldn't drink milk. Watch me drink these 6 cups of milk. I was like, what?
Milk.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it's like, hey man, if I'm a human, you can't chug milk, you'll throw up. But look at me, I'm chugging all this milk. I can't be a human. Well, I got you. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
And like,
All right.
Himari is like one of the purest girls I've seen in anything I could possibly think of.
Yeah, man. Himari is like designed to be a smile to protect. But that's like, it needed that character to be perfect, or else the series wouldn't work. Because you need to believe that these 2 people would do the things that they do in order to make sure that she doesn't die.
Oof.
Yeah, it's good. Fucking Ringo that girl's a fucking trip.
Have you got to any of the bits where like possessed Himari talks to Ringo yet? Those are
Yeah,
so
when
great.
she calls her, like, she's like, I'm had enough of your bullshit, you stupid bitch.
You stupid
And
bitch.
That's
and
where
there
that's
was
from.
another- yeah, that's
Yeah.
the Penguin Drum. And then there was a scene where like she was having the bad feelings in the train, and she's like, "I'll let you talk, you stupid monkey."
Yeah.
She's so insulting, but it's kind of hilarious. What is her opening line? It's like, "Listen up, you
listen up. Your lives will never amount to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, God, so much. And the show does something very interesting that, like, is what had my attention all the time, is they'll always have a carrot on a stick for you, no matter what's happening. And once you catch that first carrot, there'll be a next one. And it'll be stuff you didn't even really pay attention to. Like those two girls you always see, like in the ads on the trains, that was like, okay, those are just two idols. But then you find out what their relation is to the series, and it came out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit, that's actually really interesting.
Right.
I care about this way more.
Episode 9 by now, because episode 9 is fucking amazing.
I'm on 13. 13 is the next one I have to watch.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool, yeah. Episode 9 is like one of my favorite episodes of anime of all time. It's so fucking good. That episode is amazing.
I was almost...
Never mind, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I was almost like taken back from like, no, I didn't want episode 9, only the beginning, because of how episode 8 ended. I want to see how it was gonna play out immediately after.
Yeah. And then 9, you get the Himari backstory. That episode, by the way, was solo directed, storyboarded, and key animated by one person.
Are they an insane person?
Yes. And that person is also the art designer for all of the Monogatari shows.
They're
co-directing the new Ikuhara show, Sarazan Mai. So, that's exciting.
I'm not going to lie, half of me, like, the carrot on the stick and all that, it was what got my attention for a bit later on. But the initial thing is that I think the day I watched the show, I watched the first 2 episodes and I went to work the next morning, and I could not stop humming the theme for the intro. The OP is great.
Yeah, the OP is great. Both OPs are incredible. I love the first ED. The first ED is actually my ringtone on my phone.
Really?
Yeah, and then after the first ED, there's like 6 other EDs, and those are all also great.
Yeah. So yeah, that series fucking hooked me. It stopped me from watching other stuff, but I'm glad I checked it out, and I'm glad it was on sale, because I mean it's way too early for me to place it like even in a top 10, but I'm having a wonderful time with it.
Yeah, that's a big favorite of mine. That show, it's fucking incredible. I'm happy you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, before we move on, since I wasn't on last week, we didn't talk about the movie we went to see.
Yeah. Liz and the Bluebird.
Yeah, me and Claude went to go see Liz and the Bluebird when it was airing in the States, and it was really, really fucking good. And I've been itching to rewatch it ever since I saw it the first time, and I feel like I've been thinking about it constantly since I saw it, and it keeps moving up my list of favorites. And now it's like I want to put it in my top 10, but I want to watch it again first before I do that. But I don't see what wouldn't be up there for me.
That's high praise. I haven't watched a ton of animated movies. I've been trying to work on that. I don't know where I'd place it, but that's high praise as a top 10. Like, I enjoyed it, but I need to actually plot out what's where before I could place it.
Yeah, like it's for me. It's I love that director, and it's like part of this movie for me is kind of following her progress a bit. So it's directed by Naoko Yamada, who directed like K-On! And then she did Tamako Love Story and Tamako Market, like that series, the show, and then the movie follow up. And then after that point, she was like, she didn't direct Hibike Euphonium, the show, but she was like super involved in production, and so she like had her hands all over storyboarding and episode directions, goals and stuff. So there's a bunch of scenes in the show where it's like, yeah, that was definitely her that did that. And she was also consulted for writing bit, because the guy director was like, how girls work. So she got so he got her to come in and be like, hey, to like, you know, figure out how that works, right? And then she directed A Silent Voice, which was, you know, movie came out 3 years ago around. That's the thing. And now she's done this, is Liz and the Bluebird. And I'm a big fan of most of the things she's done. I don't like the Tamako Market show that much. but the movie is great. Comical love story is fantastic. And this movie is like far and away her best work. It's like the most refined and like explored version of her directorial style that she's ever done, and it's so, everything is so deliberate. James, like, I want you to imagine a movie where the footsteps are important and you should pay attention to them. The footsteps
What?
are literally included on the soundtrack. If you buy the soundtrack, the sounds of characters walking and using and like opening windows and like drinking from the water fountain, those are all like plotted out and are included on the soundtrack songs and tracks. It's like, it is incredible how deliberate and like purposeful every single part of the movie is, which I guess is good because the plot of the movie is incredibly simple. Like and I guess that's something I can say about a lot of Yamada's work, is that she doesn't seem to care all that much about plot. It's a lot more about like characters and how they feel and making sure that how that is conveyed correctly. Because it's like the movie focuses a lot more on like, you know, making you feel like you're in the space the movie takes place in. Because even like the soundtrack of the movie was composed by the guy who did the soundtrack, right, is Kensuke Ushio, who worked with Yamada on A Silent Voice, but also did the soundtrack for Devilman Crybaby and Ping Pong as well. And the soundtrack was mostly composed by like going to the school that the one in the movie is based on, and then recording incidental noises like pencils writing down and opening windows and people walking up and down the stairs, and then using those sounds to make the music, along with piano and some like wind instruments. And like apparently they used the sound of paint hitting a piece of paper for some of the things as well. So he went fucking above and beyond with his score writing in this one. And I'm in love with this movie, and it's perfect, and I think it's very good. We should see it.
Wow, what a weeb.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Claude, did you notice that that the scenes in the school, right, have like that, like, you know, kind of like sparse score with just like, you know, like the wind instruments and like percussion and stuff, but then whenever it was the storybook scenes, it was all scored by the piece that the band is playing for the competition.
Yeah.
So how like a normal score. Yeah, that's fucking good.
I did want to see the performance, but I get that if they were like doing it through the whole movie,
yeah,
they'd be like, all right, we did enough as far as like, you know, what they're in
performance
the actual.
doesn't even really matter to the plot that much.
No, not to the plot, but I wanted to hear it.
Yeah,
Like that.
The
That was it.
piece
Was just
itself
me
is
like
really
liking
good.
it.
Like
That
when
solo
I
was fucking great.
Yeah, when I listened to the soundtrack back, I was very impressed that it actually does sound like a wind band piece that a high school band would play, but a really good one. Like it reminds me of like competition pieces that we get when I was in band in high school. And then like the third movement that they play in the show is like that's an incredible piece. It's so amazing. The oboe solo is like fucking baller as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like. I could gush about this movie for several hours, so I just wanted to bring it up because I felt like we should mention it.
Oh. It stopped recording for a second, but it's back. So.
For how long? Was his gushing gone?
No, I mean it was literally a second. He just,
Okay then.
Okay.
All right.
That was
Cool.
spooky.
It was a little spooky. Although end users shouldn't notice a difference. Maybe like
cool.
a half second. But yeah, cool. It sounds like a good movie. I'll have to see it. That's Liz and the Bluebird. Go see it in theaters, even though it's not here anymore.
Oh yeah. I guess it's not it's not like necessary to enjoy it because I enjoyed it without it. But this is like a spin-off from was it Sound Euphonium?
Yeah, Sound Euphonium. It's the characters in it are secondary characters in season 2, And the main characters of the show, Kumiko and Reina from the show, are in it, but incredibly briefly. Like, Kumiko is the main character of the show, and she has literally one spoken line of dialogue in this movie. And then Reina, who was like the deuteragonist of season 1, and then it's kind of like a secondary character in season 2, she has like a scene where she talks to the main character of the movie. It's not at all important to know who they are or what is happening to enjoy the film, but it's just like, yeah, it is like a spin-off technically of that series.
Okay. Interesting. I thought this was just an original movie. I didn't know it had anything. It was a spin-off of anything.
Original in the sense that it is an original plot, like it's, because the show is based off of novels, but this movie is not based off of anything. Like, the show is based off of nothing from the novels or whatever. But the show is an adaptation of the 2 books that the guy wrote, and then there's another movie coming out that is also original, but that is about the main characters from the show. So
Okay.
What's that one called?
I don't know. I have no idea what it's called. I think there's only one trailer for it out so far, and it's just like, I think it might be about like Kumiko being like a section leader type, like senpai to like new students that come in or whatever. And it's a different director. It's this movie was directed by Yamada, and the movie is being directed by the other one is being directed by the show's director, who's like Ishihara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Hanson?
Yes. I mean, I don't really have any other thoughts about it. I haven't seen the movie, so.
Oh no, it's that
Yeah.
it seemed like that conversation was done. I was letting you know.
Oh, I mean, you guys like. All right. So I guess now we'll just move. Now that all of our weeks are done, I guess we'll just move on to the weekly Waifucast. Claude, how about you give us an explanation of what the Waifucast is real quick, and then tell us who the waifu is this week.
The Waifucast is when I'm like, hey, we're weebs, right? Let's argue about girls.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't argue. Depending on the series, it's polarizing. Anyway, right now we're talking about Persona, and the girl, we'll label her as a girl. I don't care what anyone says.
Wait.
We'll be talking about Aigis.
I guess. I mean, you know,
best toaster.
Yeah.
She is a good toaster. My hand got really hot when I tried to do the thing, but I got cramped in between some gears. That was problematic.
I don't think she'd shoot you before you could touch her.
I don't think she has any parts to put your hand inside of, to be honest.
Look, I mean, she's got that space between her legs, like in her hips, like her hips.
Oh yeah, like where the ball and socket joint is.
Yeah. Just put your hand in there and then just reach around. You'll find something.
I like that once you do get her, like not even on your party, but like you like get her from the island. Doesn't she just watch you when you sleep for the first day?
Yeah, she does.
It's pretty good. Now, one of the things I want to ask, because I didn't play it, is you guys, I think it's called Fess or whatever.
I played that version.
Was she the protagonist in that? Because I saw one screenshot that made it seem like she was more important.
No.
The protagonist of the Answer plotline. You play as her in that one. So she adopts the fool in that for reasons, and you play as her during that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that do it? Is it so? Now my question for that is: does it do the thing that it does in Persona, where it's either your character either got way better or way worse, or does it actually do something original? It's like, no, your character's consistent. Because I haven't noticed that in like later Persona things.
What do you mean by your character gets better or worse?
Okay,
like, I think he's referring to does Aigis' character change nominally?
Oh,
no, that's not what I meant necessarily. I meant like what they do with Chie and Yukari, where Chie went from a great character to like, oh, the next thing we're a user in, she's just devolved into I'm meat girl.
Oh, I guess is fine in that, but the person that because the Answer was like it developed as like part of like the same like writing staff as the main.
It's literally a part of the game. Like you buy Fest and it's like a separate campaign.
Yeah, the answer is like an extension of the game's ending. But it's kind of whack because some characters act weird. Specifically Mitsuru acts weird, and so does Yukari. But Yukari is not out of character in for the answer. Mitsuru kind of is, because the gimmick, right, of the answer is that the plot of it is that you realize that there is a way to maybe bring Minato back from the end of the game, and so the main party is like arguing like one half of the team is like we should bring him back because it sucks that he's dead, and the other half is like, he's stopping the end of the world.
Spoilers for Persona 3.
No one cares. The game's a billion years old.
It's old. But
you made a sound, and that's what I thought.
I made a sound because, like, wouldn't going back to get him be a bad choice?
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Is that half the Tea Party is like, if you bring him back, that will literally bring Nyx back also, and he'll destroy the world. And so the people that want to bring him back, if I remember correctly, are Yukari was like the main person who wanted that, and then Mitsuru is with her as well. But her reasoning is that she's like, Yukari, you're being dumb and wrong. Well, I have to listen to you because of some reason that doesn't make any sense. Or it was like she was like,
I owe you for your father's death.
Yes, it was that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I played the game to remind you. I don't know if you're trying to.
Okay, I just forgot. I just forgot what the reason was. But yeah, that was it. And then and then someone else, I forget who it was. And then it was like Akihiko and Junpei, and we're like, nah, stop it. Don't do that. Don't bring him back. And then Aigis was like kind of like main character man in the middle kind of thing going on. And so that's what the answer is about. So Yukari is like being a shit. But I don't care if everyone dies. I'm sad that my friend's dead. Kind of person.
Fuck off. Okay. Yeah. No. Yukari's gonna get hers next time it comes to Waifucast. Yep.
Anyway, I guess it's cool. I like her. She's like her like weird personality thing is very endearing to me. Like even in the spin-offs, I feel like she does fine in all the spin-offs because it's really easy to not make her obnoxious and still keep her dumb gimmick for jokes.
I don't really remember much. I know I played her all. She was always on my team in no, not 3. I was talking about spin-off stuff. She was always on my team for Persona Q.
I forgot Q, to be honest.
Yeah, I played Q. I enjoyed Q. I just stopped at a certain point. There was one level that was actually kind of creepy. I'm not even gonna lie. It was in this like haunted hospital, and then the boss fight in that was a bitch. But it was a good level. But these weird fucking giant baby dolls would like fight you, and they were like roaming Reaper from like the normal Persona dungeons, where they were always out there, and you didn't really have a chance against them. But they would see you, and then they would do everything in their power to get to you as fast as possible.
Damn.
It's fucking nightmares. But I mean, all right, yeah. I really, really like Ice. It's been a while since I played P3. I remember more about how I felt about the game than I remember specific elements of it. Like, of course, I could talk about the big stuff, but I forget a lot of little details. But the one thing I do remember is that I enjoyed Igus more than any of the female characters in that game.
I also felt that way as well.
Igus is viable for me.
Also, Igus is great in the Persona 3 movies as well. She has some pretty fucking stupid scenes that are pretty funny. And she also hangs out with Koromaru, which means that she's the best, because Koromaru's the best.
So does that mean you like Ken?
I guess.
Because by that extent, if it all it takes is Koromaru, then you have to like Ken.
Because the thing with Ken is that I don't think he's a bad character. I just think he's like awful. He's an awful person. Because the thing is that like what happens with Shinji obviously is rough and it sucks, and he's like completely to blame for it, and it's like that's fucked up. But it's also like it's not a thing that doesn't make sense for him to do, and he's not. I'd say he's like a Shinji, but not as Shinji as Shinji. Or Shinji, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't mind Ken, but you're right that Ken is not the best, because he's Ken. Yeah, but didn't Shinji hang out with Koromaru before that though? Or isn't that like like 2 for 3.
Did they? Because I remember they just kind of found Koromaru before you got Ken on your board. Or no. Sorry, I got that backwards. You said Ken and All right, now my brain just gave up. Shinji.
Yeah.
All right. You said it was Shinji with Koromaru. I don't recall because I know you got Koromaru on your party before Shinji was cool enough with you to talk to you.
Yeah, I remember that too.
No, that's right. No, I think he bonded with the group initially because he liked Koromaru.
Yeah, that's what I remember as well. But also, by the way, when I said that Ken was like a Shinji but not a Shinji, I didn't mean Shinjiro from Persona 3. I meant Shinji Ikari from Elden Ring. That's what I meant.
That's a purely better anime.
Ken is nothing like Shinjiro in Persona 3. Yeah. But yeah, I say I guess it's viable. She also.
Yeah. It's a very long-winded way of going about the fact that yes, I guess is viable.
It was discussion,
especially in those little scanlated comics, whatever they are of.
Let's say dojin.
No, because I don't know if it's a dojin in like the dirty sense. I think it might be like a fan thing.
Just a dojin, like it's like a dojin but not porn. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's two. There's one where it is porn, and there's another one where it's not porn. The one that is porn is the toothbrush one.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Like those like meme images of manga, I guess, where it's like go back to fuck.
Yeah. Whoa, welcome to my personal space. And crime's illegal, fucko.
Yeah. Those are great too.
Yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen the Persona 3 movies? Because they're okay.
I've seen the first two.
I think they're on Netflix.
I think they used to be. I don't know if they still are. I just remember that the scene where I guess first activates Origin mode in the movie is fucking awesome.
Are they an adaptation of the game, or are they a different thing?
They're game adaptation.
Okay.
Like literally just the story.
Okay.
I'd put them. They're like I think they might be the best adaptation of the Persona games so far.
Really?
Persona 5 one was whack.
Yeah.
There are some pretty bad changes in those that I don't like. Like that Akechi solves the Futaba problem in the anime. Like her like Sojiro's S-Link. Instead of having the thing where
Futaba, I didn't finish his S-Link. I'm still going through his.
Well, it's not all the way at the end. Have you done the part where Futaba and Joker changed the heart of the Uncle Man? I think it's like 6 or 7 for him, for Sojiro. Yeah, but that's the thing that happens where you go to Mementos and you change the heart of Futaba's uncle, who was abusive. And in the anime, instead of doing that, Akechi just is like, "Oh, I solved the problem by myself, and I'm here now." Apparently, that's like a thing that happens a lot, where Akechi was inserted into a lot of the social link storylines as a thing, which is very annoying.
You gotta get him in there. You gotta get the Detective Prince in there.
I guess
it's not the real Detective Prince.
How else will you get him over if he's not in there?
Yeah, the anime was apparently trying to get him over something fierce.
There's only one Detective Prince in my heart.
And she's a girl.
Yeah.
Which would technically make her the false Detective Prince.
Yeah, but shut up.
Girl.
Yeah, but shut up though.
Why is King Arthur and Fate never mind. I don't know.
Because it's Fate and nobody likes Fate. Nobody likes Fate.
No, more people than you'd assume like Fate.
Well, those people are still wrong.
But what about Utena, James? She wants to become a prince too. You're saying that she's wrong?
Utena is also yes.
Okay.
James, I hear saying women can't be what they want to be.
Nope, can't.
You heard it here first, folks.
Anyway, moving on to the news. Our first story today is My Hero Academia 2 Heroes films like bonus All Might Right. Wow, this is a fucking long-winded title. Okay, so My Hero Academia 2
Why did you
Heroes...
read that backwards?
I didn't. I'm reading the title of the article. I'm reading the
Oh,
title.
you're reading
of
an
the
article. I thought you were just reading what I had pinned, which is like almost like the inverse of how I wrote it. But okay.
Anyway, so All Might Rising is a one-shot manga from MHA Two Heroes' bonus thing, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
it
getting
was like
animated.
the chapter. It was like the chapter that meant to like hype up the movie where All Might goes to America.
Oh, okay.
Well, so All Might Rising was the one that showed his master dying.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
And being like, and then you see in his prime, maybe not prime, but Gran Torino, like training All Might. He's like, listen, man, this motherfucker's gonna kill you. You got the power, but you lack the experience. Go to America. He's like, you want me to run away? He's like, nigga, yes. And then he goes to America.
Dude, why the fuck did Gran Torino get like 5 feet shorter when he got old?
It's what happens with old people. They just get shorter.
Yeah, you lose bone mass.
You become a Mega Man when you get old.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out.
I guess.
Yeah.
Did it? Because he looked like a normal person and could still do the same things. How did it work out?
He's a smaller target.
Like
Yes.
maybe.
Anyway,
I guess.
this bonus chapter thing that happened is getting animated. So it's called number 0 All Might Rising. So it's and the animation is going to be called All Might Rising the animation in the Blu-ray/DVD plus Ultra edition of My Hero Academia 2 Heroes.
Oh,
I wonder what they're gonna
it's
do
gonna
with
be
it. Huh?
I'm sorry. I guess it's gonna be like the Rohan OVA for like JoJo,
Yeah.
where it was a Blu-ray extra.
The
Yep.
thing about the Rohan one is like All Might Rising is like a 12-page thing with very little dialogue.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't much going on unless they're gonna like really hype up the fight between like All Might's master and All for One, because that thing is super short. That's why I was like, I'm surprised it's getting animated.
It might just be like a 15-minute like OVA thing. Like it might not be even full episode length.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, with as short as that is, I'd be, because like you could typically fit about 3 episodes or 3 chapters in like a 22-minute thing.
Mhm.
This is shorter than a chapter,
Yeah, it is.
so
It's like a
that's why
half-
I'm like, it's cool, but I don't know how they're gonna pace it or what they're gonna do, if they're gonna add something.
It's gotta be like a long fight scene or something, and then maybe like have it end with All Might, you gotta go to America, and then fade to white.
You know, actually, now that I think about it, what they'll probably do is, did either of you read the manga? Well, I know James didn't at the time, but Skylar, did you read My Hero Academia during the part where All Might fought Nomu, or did you read it afterwards?
Not right afterward.
Okay, so what I'd imagine is they do something like that, where of course you see the whole like full Studio Bones flexing their muscles on that fight. But if you read the manga, that fight goes to, everything progresses like normal. Then it's their flurry of punches when he's like, it's shock absorption, not nullification. And then like Deku's like, it's more than 100% of his power. And then All Might's like, let me show you what it means to go, beyond plus ultra. You don't get half of that, like where they're in the air throwing each other around. Like a good like 40 seconds of that fight was anime original. It didn't exist in the manga. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe they might do something like that where they pad it out with some action scenes that didn't exist.
It's just gonna be an extrapolated version of the boss of the fight.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is great because All for One is one of my favorite voice actors in both the Japanese and English versions, so that works for me.
Who voices him in English?
I don't recall the voice actor's name. I'll actually look it up, but like he does a phenomenal job about it.
He's actually very good. English All for One.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, with all that being said, we don't have a release date, unfortunately.
John Swayze.
John Swayze is the release date for My Hero Academia 2 Heroes on Blu-ray. But I guess we'll just move on to the next story, which is Studio Ponok's short film anthology, Modest Heroes, headed to North America. The actual release is set for January 2019.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. If anyone's not familiar, Studio Ponoc is the formative from a bunch of ex-Ghibli animators and writers.
You can really fucking tell in this trailer. Holy shit.
They recently their first project was Mary and the Witch's Flower, which is pretty good. I went and saw it with a friend in the theater. It was very Ghibli, whimsy, with some things about it that were kind of like Miyazaki would have maybe done that with a little bit more flair, but it was still fun and I liked it. So this is like an anthology movie. I think it's 3 different short films put together.
It is.
And the one I remember thinking was cool was the one about the Invisible Man, which looks fucking godlike. But I can't remember. There's 2 other ones, but I forget what they're about, to be honest, from the top of my head. Let me check it out. But yeah, I'm excited that these movies keep being brought over. Like everyone's getting in on anime movies in theaters, which is exciting.
Gkids and Fathom events doing it, despite the fact that like every showing I've been to has never had more than 5 people.
Damn.
No, less than 10, I should say. Not that, because I've never seen them in the double digits.
Well, I mean, My Hero had a bunch of people when I went to see that.
That's an exception, because I don't even know, like, because maybe it got advertised better. Because I went to see it because of reasons. I went to see that movie 3 times, and there was never a time that the seating was not like sold out.
Yeah,
it's just, like packed like sardines. Like I think there was maybe like 3 or 4 empty seats each time I saw the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I mean like when I saw Mary and the Witch's Flower was a bit more packed because that was like Ghibli, and so it had like some people. It was being marketed like a Ghibli movie kind of thing, so that had a bit more people in it. And obviously when I saw The Wind Rises, because that actually was a Ghibli movie, that was like a pretty packed theater too. So, but yeah, generally like when I saw Walk on Girl, it was pretty empty, and then like Motherfuckers was pretty empty also, and then like there's the joke that when we saw Liz that a week before the showing, I was the only person that had bought a ticket to see the movie.
That's rough.
Yeah, I went to go buy my ticket, and I was like, all right. Like, I didn't expect the seating to be bad as far as, like, people everywhere, but it was, like, literally 1 seat. And I was like, there's 2 showings of this movie in the entire state. It's a week out, and only 1 ticket has been purchased.
It was me.
Like, holy shit. And I was like, well, I don't even know if I have to ask if this is you. He was like, yeah, it's me.
Damn. The 3 short stories, just for anybody who was curious, are Kanini and Kanino, Life Ain't Gonna Lose, and Invisible. Kanini and Kanino. Yeah, same. Kanini and Kanino is basically a story about, as they describe it, 2 crab brothers embark on a grand underwater adventure to find their father after an accident carries them far downstream. Depicted as tiny beings on a large and merciless natural world, the brothers must evade a series of freshwater predators they are ever to reunite with their father again. And then you have, let's see, and Life Ain't Gonna Lose. 8-year-old Shun loves baseball and to run. Only eggs defeat him. With the love of his strong-willed mother, Shun faces the challenge of an everyday life threatened by a deadly allergy. That's an interesting idea for a short film. You don't see that a lot.
Only eggs can defeat him.
Yeah, I love the phrasing of that. Only eggs can defeat him. And lastly, in Invisible, a man wakes up one morning and goes through his day in a world where no one can see him. But just when he seems to have reached his limit, a momentous decision gives him the chance to reclaim his humanity. The stories explore ideas of heroism, large and small, and the infinite potential of a short film format allows the directors and Studio Ponoc to experiment with breathtaking, action-packed visuals, concise human drama, and gorgeous fantasy worlds in this unforgettable short film anthology. We don't really have a specific date, unfortunately, but January 2019 in both subtitled and English versions, following its upcoming U.S. premiere at the Animation is Film Festival in Los Angeles later this month. So please be excited. Please go see these movies.
Yeah.
Very big excite. That's Modest Heroes by Studio Ponoc. Next up, we got Dragon Ball Super is going to be airing a 1-hour Brawly special. We don't know at all the details of what it is. It could be like probably gonna be like some like a trailer, background information, maybe.
A 1 hour. I thought it was like
No,
I
I
said
mean,
1 hour. I thought I meant like
mean,
2 full episodes leading into it.
I mean, like I just said, we have no idea what it is. I'm saying like I was making a list of things that could be involved in a 1-hour special. It could be like the direct. It could just be people talking about the movie, for all we fucking know.
It actually could be because it's Japan.
Just people talking about the movie, maybe showing some scene, like a scene, or just some additional like art that we haven't
It's
seen
gonna be
yet.
a fucking variety show, and they're gonna talk. They're gonna have figures of Broly on the stage and be like, "Look, it's Dragon
Yeah.
Ball." I'm gonna be like, "Oh."
Yeah,
really
they
excited.
Soka, Subarashi.
So- Subarashi. They also did just add this Brawly into Xenoverse 2, so there'll probably be an advertisement for that or something. Yeah, this will probably just be a bunch of like just typing up the show more and talking about it and we might get a glimpse of a thing we hadn't seen yet.
I would hope it would be just 2 episodes of just like something hinting at whatever the movie's gonna be doing, but not like actually there. But I want a
highly
baseball
doubt
episode
that.
again, huh?
It does say that Dragon Ball Super is getting a special, and not like Fuji TV is having a Broly movie special. So like maybe it might be 2 episodes of the show, because the wording makes it sound like it's gonna be a Dragon Ball thing and not gonna be like a talk show. So, I don't
Maybe. Maybe. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
It's
When
next
they-
week.
It is next week, so I guess we'll find out on the next episode of the Weekly Dadcast.
No, we won't because it's next
well,
week
we-
Sunday.
Oh god damn it! We'll have to wait till 2 weeks to talk about it.
Yeah.
Broly defeated.
You know what? We don't have to wait 2 weeks to talk about though. The Dr. Stone manga, which is getting a TV anime starring Yosuke Kobayashi, who I don't know who that
Yeah.
is.
I hope okay. These announcements are so weird to me because I've been noticing more frequently that when anime things are announced, they almost never announce a studio. They just announce voice actors that are attached to the project. I know that
people don't care about studios.
It's very
I know that's because Japan like loves their seiyus and like seiyu culture is a thing, right? But it's always
Yo,
it's always so weird to me that they announce, oh, the main character is going to be played by this guy, but we don't know who's animating the show yet.
You'll have to talk to me later about Seiyu culture because I'm not at all familiar. But as
Well,
somebody,
Seiyuu is like idol culture.
oh,
It's like idol culture basically. There's a lot of seiyus even are idols too, so it's basically the same shit.
Okay. Yeah, we don't know anything. Much like the last story, we don't know like shit all for this other than the voice actor for the main character. So I guess
Well, we
one of
know
y'all.
that's coming out
Yeah, premiere in July 2019.
this summer.
Yeah. So will one of you take the lead and explain what this show is actually
Claude
going to be
has read
about?
it,
Yeah.
So I have not read it. So
Okay, yeah. So I'm probably like 3 or 4 chapters behind at this point. But basically, the premise of Dr. Stone is everyone's going about their lives, and then there's this dude who's basically a super genius. Like, not even gonna say basically, he is a fucking super genius. He's in high school, doesn't care about nothing but like science. And he has this friend who is like, he is an idiot, but he is physically capable. You know, typical shonen type duo. And they start seeing like just pigeons. They're like made of stone. And like, what the fuck's happening here? And there's this bright flash of light, and literally everyone on Earth is just encased in stone. And then like one dude, the tough dude was like gonna confess to the girl, and like, you know, right before he confessed or was about to confess, he got trapped in stone. And the thing is, he was conscious. He was conscious the entire time.
Oof.
And he was like, I just gotta save her. I can't die. I gotta save her. I hope she's okay. And then he wakes up, and the world is just basically a jungle all around him. He's like, what the fuck's happening? He's going around looking for like her and whatnot, and he finds like this little marking saying, "Hey, come here, you big oaf," which is what his friend would call him. I think his name is Seiju, was the scientist name. And he goes there. He's like, how long has it been? And he gives the exact number of years. He's like, how did you know it was that long? He's like, I started counting the moment we got turned into stone. And he basically was counting for like 3,000 years.
God damn.
Yeah, and then like he's like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? He's like, well, I'm not gonna like go through every little detail, but they end up making this potion that can get people out of stone. And it's like, I know where the girl is that I like. Let's go get her out of stone. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And while they're about to get mauled by fucking lions, because the lore on that is that while people got turned in stone, there was a lion exhibit that the guards were like opening up and changing out their shifts, like to go feed the lions or whatever. And they got turned to stone when the doors were open, so the lions are just fucking out. And that's why there's lions prosperous in this world.
Damn.
And they were like, hey, it's the super strong dude from another school. He's ridiculous. Let's free him instead. And he kills the lions, makes a badass coat. His name's Tsukasa. And then you find out he's actually kind of a Nazi. And he's like, no, we're only going to bring back people I deem strong. And it's like, oh boy, okay. And he thinks he kills Seiju. And it's a weird shift in the show where like the musclehead guy who's like an idiot was the main character. And then there's a weird shift where it's like, no, now Seiju or Senju, or I really wish I remembered his name, becomes the main character. He's like, here's what's happening. Dude thinks I'm dead. He thinks he killed me. You guys go with him and spy on him. I'm going to go to another place and I'm going to rebuild civilization in the sense of like bring us back up to modern technology.
As fast as I can.
Yeah, it is. And like there's like one like and it's weird jumps too. It's not like slowly going forward. It's like, hey, this person here's dying. Oh, he's like, okay, well, she probably has some type of infection. Well, we need antibiotics and we can't make penicillin, so we'll have to make sulfur-based medicine. And they had this entire roadmap of how to make medicine, like all the way from the beginning, and like different parts of technology they needed to go through in order to get what they want to. They're like, all right, these guys are gonna attack us. We need communication is key. Let's make fucking cell phones. But it's not like cell phones like you. It's not cell phones like you think. It's things that would function as cell phones, and it's brilliantly broken down every time, like step by step, what they need to do, how stuff works, and it comes across as like a guy who genuinely loves science and how things work. Because there's sometimes they do stuff, and there'll be little notes in the corner being like, "Hey, if you're interested," like when they wanted to make paper, and how they make paper. In the corner of that panel or that page, I remember them being like, "If you're interested in making paper, use this instead of this because it's more, it's more easily available to you or more readily available." And it's just a fantastic series about, it's a shonen series that doesn't focus on the fight. It focuses on science. It's great.
It's a science arms race. Whoever does the science, good. Yeah, so it seems really cool. I'm happy that this and both Promised Neverland are both getting anime. Those are both like the new kind of like premiere-ish shonen series that are not exactly typical Shonen Jump shows. Mm-hmm. And Promised Neverland's coming out pretty fucking soon, right? It's next season.
Yeah, Promised Neverland's next season, and then this one's in summer. So they're doing it. Yeah,
I mean it makes sense, right? They push the new stuff. And this is going to be, and for correctly, Dr. Stone is like the most popular series in Jump right now that's not called One Piece. So
it deserves it. It's a fucking stellar series. I highly recommend to anyone who's not on that like anime only train. If you're willing to read manga, Dr. Stone's a great read.
And if you're not willing to read manga, your name's probably George.
Yeah, I'll dub only as well.
Dub only. Only villains do that.
Yeah. Ugh. Actual monsters that need to be jailed. Dub onlys.
Yeah.
Speaking of jail, Tekashi 6ix9ine was arrested after by the feds for racketeering.
That came to mind instantly. I was like, please, you set yourself up. Don't let this slip through your fingers.
Arrested by the feds. Arrested by the FBI for racketeering. Held without bail, facing life in prison. Holy shit.
But are you guys aware of the update on this story, though?
No.
What?
Please tell me.
yesterday or Thursday, he was moved to another holding facility that specializes in witnesses that snitch. Like you're brought in,
Ooh.
cut a deal so as to snitch out other people. So it's possible he will face a reduced sentence because he's going
so fucking
to
hard.
for
isn't it?
sure rat out every single person in the Trey Bloods or whatever the fuck his gang is called. Yeah. So those guys are all getting fucked. He might even like rat out like rival dudes. Like he might have some dirt on like Chief Keef since they have beef, and it's entirely possible that guy is gonna get caught for some shit too. Man, this feels good.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this guy going to jail. Fucking.
God damn.
He literally got away with statutory rape because, like, the reason doesn't even make sense to me. It was like he was like didn't graduate high school, but it was still like 19, and the girl was 13. So I don't know, man. That's a bit much. That's a bit too much for me.
Yeah. Real quick. I gotta say it. Prison iffy, soap getting slippy, somebody got the stiffy, boy hole getting jizzy, come gang.
Where'd you see that at?
That's in multimedia. That's what Solange posted as soon as this.
Okay,
news
because I was
break
like,
out.
ain't no way you did it off the top.
Nah, dude, I wish I had the fucking brain cells for that shit. I love that image. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. This is great. This is good. This is good. Because I mean, like, man,
Come on.
fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Fuck
Tekashi 6ix9ine is not a fellow I would endorse. God, he's gonna snitch so hard too, dude. He's gonna snitch so fucking hard, dude. Oh man. What are your thoughts on Tekashi 6ix9ine, Claude?
I didn't really have any thoughts because I don't listen. Most of the rap I listened to was stuff that came out like when I was either 18 or younger. Because I like just that era of like rap. And people who came out like afterwards, I would know their names, but I didn't really listen to their music. Like I can't think of like that little rap you just there.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know that he's ever done, and I don't even know the name of that track. Like that's how detached I am from him in this scenario. I'm more familiar with him in that statutory rape charge than I am with the fact that he's an artist.
For those who don't know, the statutory rape charge was because he and a friend of his were doing like sexual acts on a camera, like they were recording it with a minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tekashi 6ix9ine's, it was like his thing was he used to be part of this like weird like cloud rap trend of like the hype beast banger people who just have like basically record like just like these songs of basically like incredibly blown out beats with like him then basically like almost screaming his lyrics at the top of his lungs.
Hence the scum gang part. It's meant to be very abrasive.
Like, Scum Gang was like his like thing. I forget what Scum stands for. It's like an acronym. It stands for like
sexually
society...
charging unto minors.
I think it's like society can't understand me. I think is what it stands for. Yeah. Yeah. So that's as him. He was kind of like whatever, and then he transitioned a bit into like sad boy trap rap for a bit. Yeah, now he's in jail.
With Nicki Minaj, and now he's in jail. Yeah, fucking thank.
He's like a meme, man. Like he's like part of that cloud rap trend of also like making you look like the most ridiculous person to ever exist. So like
literally has 6ix9ine
like,
tattooed on his fucking forehead.
Yeah, so it's like it's like he's a little pumped and was like, I could do you one better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even came up with his own dumb thing to yell like Lil Pump. So, yeah. So he's like his music. I mean, people like it. As whatever his taste is, whatever the fuck. But I think he's a horrible person, and so I'm glad he's in jail. because he's done horrible things.
What is that?
He wasn't in jail. So
Real quick, this isn't on the docket. I just happened to see it on the side of the article that I was looking at for Takeshi. Shrek writer argues the term anti-vax akin to the N-word.
I saw that too. I saw that too this morning.
So
yeah, that's bad. That's a bad one.
Julie
In case you
Benson.
didn't hear what he said, because we were all laughing, he said that Shrek writer believes that anti-vax is on par with the N-word as a slur.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that's the thing that happened apparently. I remember that my favorite comment I saw on the Reddit post that had that before was, "What's up, my anti-vax?"
So apparently this guy, Rossio is his name? Yeah, Terry Rossio, who wrote, best known for his work on Aladdin, Shrek, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and such, tweeted out, "My heart goes out to all the parents of vaccine-damaged children who have to not only endure the sadness of their loss, but also the vitriol of ill-informed and insensitive people, parentheses, such as those here, in parentheses. Anti-vax is equivalent to calling someone a..." Okay, so I don't know if the article did it or if he self-censored or if he just straight up said it.
There's the tweet. He straight up said it.
He straight up says the N-word is equivalent
Hard
to calling
R.
someone a hard R. It makes as little sense. Woof.
and what have people said on this? That I'm guessing people railed him on this.
Julie. Okay, so.
What is this guy? Oh, apparently he wrote on Aladdin as well.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
I said
James,
that.
James said that.
Somebody, dictionary.com's Twitter wrote, "The N-word is so profoundly offensive that a euphemism has developed for those occasions when the word itself must be discussed. The same cannot be said for the term anti-vax." Let me see if I can find this tweet. Let's
It's
see.
just the thing that you read. The article you read quoted the tweet, but then censored the N-word that he said. Because
Yeah. Oh, that tweet is still up. You can still find this tweet.
It's literally linked in the article that I'm reading right now. Like, it's just embedded.
Yeah, y'all want to see Terry Rossio fucking say the
Balls
hard R?
exposed.
You can still see it. It's still there. Usually people have the courtesy to maybe delete the tweet later on, so it's harder to
His
find.
balls are still exposed. I guess you can say he's not a coward or anything.
I guess he's not a coward. He's just an idiot. Great. Holy shit. All right, now that I've had that done, let's just move on to something way less dumb, but still dumb. Way less spooky, yeah. DC Universe polls fans again, should Robin Jason Todd live or die? So for those who aren't familiar, back in the day, back in 1988 specifically, DC had fans call in asking whether they wanted the Joker to kill Jason Todd or for Jason Todd to live. And the end result was Jason Todd ended up dying. He was beaten to death he was beaten half to death with a crowbar, with a crowbar.
And then blown up.
And then blown up, yeah. Which then eventually leads into his storyline as the Red Hood. And there's a bunch of other shit that happens. Claude would be better to tell you all that. But for whatever reason, they opened up the poll again to see if he's gonna die.
My
Which he,
guess.
of course, will, because everyone always dies in these polls.
Yeah.
No one has ever not voted to kill a character before.
So my guess for this being a thing, like it's not even concrete. It's just how I see as far as his writing. Jason Todd is one of those weird characters where every time I see him, the artist has a different vision of what they want him to do. Because there's no concrete what we want Jason Todd as. Like I've seen him done like 8 different ways, and then of course even the game threw out their own like Arkham Knight, and they're like again, Jason Todd's at it again. What the fuck's happening? And like it might just be like a, hey man, we need to get rid of this dude because no one knows what to do with him. People will vote yes. Ask if they want him to die.
Huh.
Cause like I don't know. Like I said, that's just a guess. It's just I've never seen a concrete. This is what like if someone told me to describe Batman, I could describe Batman. If someone wanted me to describe like what Superman is, like in their morals and their stance and what they are, I could do that. When it comes to Jason Todd, he's very wishy-washy depending on who's writing him. So I mean, maybe I don't know.
Well, in this article currently, apparently the choice to keep Todd alive is heavily favored, so that's interesting. And it still is. I just confirmed. Robin Lives is at 73% with 36,332 votes. So I don't think there's going to be any big twist anytime soon. I didn't read comics much at all, if ever, so I don't really have a whole lot to say on this other than it's weird. And I'm curious to know what, like, is there even anything going on in the comics in which okay. Okay. So this isn't a poll to see like maybe there's an event going on in Batman comics. It's if you could rewrite the history of 1988's Batman Death in the Family poll, would Jason Todd live or die? So it's literally just asking people, would you change what happened? And the answer is
wasn't it you who posted that? Oh no, James.
It was. Well, I never actually accessed the poll because I didn't know how, and it was in this article for some reason. It links to it. Well, it's because it's DC Universe, and I didn't know the site even existed. What is DC?
Well,
Universe?
we were wrong, listeners.
Sorry, Jason Todd.
Well, I mean, every article I've seen about this has also said that it's reopened the poll. So I mean, people care, I guess. I don't know.
I'm curious. What would you guys do? Would you rewrite history? Would you let Jason Todd live?
Red Hood is cool, and it got me under the Red Hood, the movie, so that's fine.
Yeah, also, and then we eventually got the shit bag that is Damian Wayne. When they were like, okay, we're done with Tim Drake. We got who else we got? What else we got to do now? Like that chain of events might not have happened if Jason Todd didn't die. So
fair enough. Well, I mean, with that being said, I guess we'll just move on to more comic book stuff. So the new trailer for a movie called Once Upon a Deadpool came out. It's a PG-13 rated film, which I guess is going to be part of the joke. So what I didn't find out about until I started looking up articles for the podcast was apparently a fan tweeted like a couple of years ago essentially the exact setup for the movie, in that Once Upon a Deadpool uses the Princess Bride framing device, including an adult Fred Savage. Like, he's the guy in the bed in that trailer. It's Fred Savage. Who those of you don't know, that's the kid from the movie. Apparently a fan tweeted this setup and thought like maybe Fox fucked him over by taking his idea, but apparently he and Ryan Reynolds spoke, and they never saw it. They just came up with it of their own volition, apparently. As for the movie, it exists. I saw The Princess Bride. I like that. Maybe you'll like this movie. What do you guys think?
I didn't see The Princess Bride, but I want to.
It is good.
You haven't seen The Princess Bride? Inconceivable.
Shut the fuck up. You've not about to see any other. You don't know nothing about nothing.
You're the last person to tell me like you didn't see blank. I'm like, James. No.
I literally just made a Princess Bride joke. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, I know. You said inconceivable.
I did it. Haha. I made the joke. Haha.
The way it was framed and it doesn't follow up because I didn't see it, so I wouldn't know it's a joke.
Well, Skylar did though, and that's what was important.
It was directed at me. You know what? Never mind.
It was directed. The phrase was directed at you, but the joke was not.
Whatever.
Yeah, but then you were like, "Oh, well, no, don't worry about it." I was like, "But that sounded like a response to me." Whatever. Let's go.
No one gives a shit.
Dead or Alive.
Okay.
Didn't we talk about this a little bit last week? But Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet censored by Sony on PS4, but no changes for Nintendo Switch. So you get all
Did we
those.
talk about last week?
I think we did. I know I've talked about this before. I don't know because I posted the picture of like Nintendo's advertisement having like the vibrating titties in the Pro Controller, not the Pro Controller, but the HD Rumble shit.
And you must have just talked about it in chat because I'm looking at our docket last week and it wasn't there.
It wasn't
on
in the
that.
docket, but I posted a picture somewhere. I forget. It was in games or something, but I talked about it. I know I did. Yeah, I did.
Whatever.
Yeah, I did. It was last Monday. It was after the podcast.
Yep.
Anyway, there's not much to say.
Sony's cowards. I actually saw people online very worried about Catherine Full Body and being like, do we gotta worry? And then Atlas was like, no, there is no God rays gonna be in our game. We've not been told by Sony to do anything as far as censorship. You guys are good. We love you.
Yeah. So basically what happens is certain items are not going to be in the PS4 game, like a jet black fan, which like helps girls. Yeah, pulls up girls' skirts. Quote unquote loosening occurs through activity rather than through a fan. And then you have softening gel, which makes the girl's skin smoother, and I don't know what that does exactly.
I don't understand what that's for.
Also, I
Me
posted
neither.
like the response from Atlas about no, not Atlas. I guess whatever the response about not censoring the game.
Well, that's good. There are so the response Studio Zero Sheep man number 1 says there are no mysterious lights in Catherine Full Body. We went as far as we could go without the light shining. To everyone worried about that, we love you. We received about 10 more of the same question. That's funny. Yeah, it's just kind of weird how Sony's stance on this stuff just kind of went full fucking 180. Because before, Sony was the Vita was the creepy JRPG machine for a while because the Nintendo 3DS couldn't have it.
But now Nintendo's like, you know what, tits, we got this. With new leadership, we got Ass with Twintel and Zelda and Pyra, and
Yeah,
now
Something happened. Something must have happened. But yeah, so just get the Switch version if you care about 2 items and stuff. You won't have VR because Nintendo Switch doesn't support VR, but I mean, I don't know that the fans though. Speaking of we got a couple of stories about censorship. Kingdom Hearts 3's Winnie the Pooh was reportedly censored out during the Chinese trailer. The latest Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer in China. Winnie the Pooh was just blurred out a lot in just like a white light. So I mean, clearly he was too naked for the scene, so they had to blur him out with a white light.
Do you actually know why this is like this, James?
Yeah, yes, I do. I actually have I have an article talking about it.
Yeah.
So the reason why Winnie the Pooh is censored, and Winnie the Pooh is censored in everything in China, is because it refers to a bunch of memes that were making fun of the Chinese president Xi Jinping, in which people would take photos of him. So like there's a photo of him walking with Obama, and then they would juxtapose it with pictures of Winnie the Pooh. So there's a picture of Winnie the Pooh with Tony the Tiger, Tigger, and that the joke is just that he's Winnie the Pooh. It's bizarre.
Yeah. It's it's super bizarre, but he hates it so much.
He does because
oh shit, I'm looking at the picture right now. I mean, it's not even. It's just them walking. It's not even like bad.
There's another one in DADCast, which but it's the president of China standing in through the sunroof of his car, and then next to a toy of Winnie the Pooh also standing in the middle of his car. It's super dumb, but it's because like he can't have quirky elements. He can't make any mistakes, and because that's why he's above the population and unable to be questioned. So like apparently what a lot of people have like bloggers have referred to the censorship as being harmonized, because the previous Chinese leader Hu Jintao had a catchphrase of promoting a harmonious society. So if you're censored in China, you have been harmonized. So if you see any like graffiti or references to river crabs, it's also a reference to being harmonized, because those two phrases share. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. Wow, that's a good one. It's a little rough.
Can it be the thumb? No, we can't use it.
Yeah, we can. Why not?
We can?
Yeah, why couldn't we?
Fuck it. All right, everyone. The thing that we're laughing about as far as pictures go will be the thumbnail of the podcast, if James remembers.
I'll remember. Yeah. So it's fucking weird, man. Chinese censorship is so hard that, like, if you try to text your friend a message including a certain a Nobel Peace Prize winner's name, which, by the way, that same guy went fucking missing. His name was Liu Xiaobao. He was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he died. Oh, I'm sorry, he died in custody, rather. But if you try to send your friend a text message including his name, they will not get it. It will say the message sent, but they will never receive that message because of how fucking hard the censorship is in that country. And the way they're able to do that and relay that message, because everybody uses something called the WeChat app. It is the text app used by pretty much every person in China, probably for obvious reasons.
Yeah, my friends from Singapore talked about that occasionally. Like, people use that or like Line to talk.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah. So if you're wondering why Winnie the Pooh was banned, it's because of a very obscure amount of memeing at the Chinese Chinese president's fucking expense. Ugh. It's rough. Speaking of rough, this segues bad and rough. The Fallout 76 patch is 47 gigabytes, and there's actually a very simple reason why that is. It's because the way the game is written is that they use things like they're just being lazy. Essentially, they are sending in just essentially the entire game for you to download, so certain files can be changed, right? Because they didn't write the game well enough to just have to send in a small stream of packets to replace the lines of code. They just gave you the bulk of what the game is. You're essentially re-downloading the entire game. So it's a 47 gigabyte update installed on all consoles, and it doesn't even fix performance. There's still stuttering, there's still bugs, there's still collision issues. It's pretty shit. So it's bad. Yeah, Fallout 47 is garbage. It's probably going to be one of the... Huh?
Said Fallout 47 just now.
I'm sorry. Well, it might as well be Fallout 47. It's Fallout 47 gigs. But Fallout 76 is garbage, and still is garbage. Even the PS4 Pro can only play it at 30 FPS, maybe. Because it stutters like a motherfucker.
Consistently because of how badly the game's optimized.
What?
So I'm not entirely sure anything can run that game at 60 frames per second because of how badly it's optimized.
Yeah, Stewie made a funny comment saying, like, he hopes it never really gets patched, so people can see, like, this is what a Bethesda game looks like when it's raw.
Well, yeah, that's what people are saying that the modding community doesn't fix it either.
Well, the modding community can't really fix it because it's a multiplayer game, and it's written in a different way than the basic. The engine is the same, but the netcode and everything, the addition of netcode makes it like way harder and almost impossible to patch.
That's true.
Didn't they confirm also that the next Elder Scrolls is gonna be on the same engine?
Yes, the next Elder Scrolls game and that other game,
that the Starlink or Star whatever.
Yeah, that's gonna be on the same engine. This engine that they've been using for over 10 years. They've been using it since Morrowind or earlier.
I believe since Morrowind, because Daggerfall was on like a procedurally generated map.
Okay. I couldn't remember which one came first, Morrowind or Oblivion. But yeah, since Morrowind, it's been the same fucking engine. It's they.
I thought they made a new one for when they got over to PS4.
No, it's the same. No, it's the same. Okay. No, Fallout 4 is the same engine. It's just better graphics. It's the same physics.
They took the gameplay as well.
Yeah. It's they essentially just fucking manhandled it to work, essentially.
It was very impressive when it was made, but not anymore.
Yeah. Not almost, maybe almost. Hold on. When did Morrowind come out? I'm curious.
Like,
it had to have been like 2000, like early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. 2002.
Yeah.
Almost 2 decades. Almost 2 decades.
Yep.
God, we are in. Man. It's really fucked up how it's like they just refuse. They just refuse to do work. There is a bug in Fallout 76 that existed in Fallout 4 that was patched by fans, but for whatever reason, they didn't just look at that patch and think, oh, maybe we should add that into our new game in a way that like it'll be like, so like they probably couldn't really do that they could just take the exact line of code because then that goes into like intellectual property issues, but they could have found a fix for it. But no.
A fix existed.
Yeah.
Just use the same fix. No one cares.
Yeah. But no, fuck you. Also, this game was likely pushed out 6 months early. To meet
for
the Christmas
sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, anybody that can hear my voice, never buy Fallout 76. Do not buy this game. It is not worth it. It is not worth the money.
It'll make you destroy a GameStop.
It will. It will make you destroy a GameStop.
The man was so angry.
He was. I don't fucking blame him. Granted, he shouldn't have done what he did, but fuck, I don't blame him.
Nah, he was justified.
Yeah, alright, well.
Those poor GameStop men, though, they didn't deserve that.
Yeah, he was professional. He was super professional about the situation.
He was.
Like, hello, welcome to GameStop. Or thank you for calling GameStop. As a dude was trashing the store on his way out.
God damn. It pisses me off thinking about it, so I'm just gonna move on to very, very good news. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best pre-selling game in the entire franchise. Not only that, is the best pre-selling game for the Nintendo Switch, period. While we don't have exact sales numbers, unfortunately.
Well, there's still time to pre-order. That's why we don't have it yet, but just at the moment.
But like, this game is it's gonna be if it's gonna be the last Smash, it's good. I don't know, like I don't know if it can get better, really. I think it's at that point where it's just the best of everything. You've got all the characters, you've got all the music, you've got all the stages.
Yeah, the only I'm not even sad by it. Just the potential is like, oh, okay, well, I guess it won't be a thing. That like they was like, yep, no. They've confirmed no manga characters will be in it. So I'm like, damn, all those people wanted Goku.
That's
which makes fine. You still get everything. There's so much in it, and there's still 5 characters. So I'm at a point where I don't see it logical for anyone to complain about their character not being in it. Like, I mean, yeah, it would have been cool to see Goku there, but
yeah, I can't fucking wait for Melee players to complain.
They're already complaining.
Are they? Are they really?
With every release after Melee, they complain more.
Why didn't you just make Melee 2? Why didn't you just make Melee 2?
Like, it's a community that does not grow because they are very toxic about like anything that's Smash related that is not Melee, and it's like someone who's like, "Hey, man, I really like Smash Bros." Those people aren't gonna go buy like a CRT TVs and like these very specific broken controllers and all that shit that insane Melee fans will do. Like, I enjoy Smash. I play Smash. I'm gonna be on this on day one, but like,
No, I played Melee and I enjoyed Melee more than Brawl, but move on, y'all. Come on, damn.
Our best hope is that they all eventually will die at some point, and we'll never have to hear it again.
Yeah, soon enough, CRTs won't become just readily available. So if
There's-
you weren't already,
they really-
Melee,
They aren't right now. They're not that common.
no, you have to go to specialty stores.
Yeah. So it's like eventually it'll just like CRTVs won't be. They're not in production now.
It's gonna be the equivalent of like in Cowboy Bebop when Faye had to find that old fucking player to look at her backstory.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that for Melee fans soon enough.
I
God.
find a Betamax player.
You gotta find the fucking the old elders, the only last remaining Melee players alive on the earth.
Yeah,
play
I can't
them.
wait. I can't wait for there to be like the ancient Melee players.
80 years old, still kicking.
Fucking torchbearers, yeah. And somehow it'll still be at Evo.
No.
It's because
No.
the viewership, man. The viewership's always high on Melee.
Yeah, that's why it stays.
I don't think we'll see Melee next year.
Yes, we will.
I doubt it.
Super
I don't.
Bowl.
No.
Super Bowl.
No, because Smash will be out by then. Because it comes out January 21st.
Well, what was the excuse then for last year? They haven't. They would just have 2 slots like they've always had.
Yeah, but now you'll have the new hotness. And, like, you're not... Maybe they'll push out Smash 4. Fuck, you're right. God damn it.
No, they won't push it out. It'll just be both of them.
Both.
Same as this year when there was Smash 4 and Melee.
No, that's what I'm saying. They'll push out Smash 4 for Ultimate, is what I mean.
Okay, that's what I got him back. All right, well, yeah, that's what they're gonna do because they're not gonna get rid of Melee.
God.
I would actually
damn.
put money on it right now that they're not gonna get rid of Melee.
God. Fuck. Can we bring back Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite just to get rid of Melee?
No,
Can we do that?
that would like lose them so much money.
Nah, I think if MVC Infinite came back with like a vengeance.
The thing is that Mr. Wiz might kick Melee out of spite.
Yeah. Oh, I hope he does. I hope he's got the dick big enough to do that. Be great. Get rid of that fucking toxic community. Don't give them a platform.
Booing fucking people.
God. Oh. Granted, that was Smash 4 also. They fucking...
Yeah, like, oh, you play Bayonetta, we're gonna boo you.
Oh,
And
God.
then the grand final shenanigans, which, like, looking back at it, I understand it. Like, granted, like it's like the biggest stage you can get on for Smash, but like when you start in pools, when you're at the very base level, and from there all the way to grand finals, you are getting booed every match because you main Bayo. Like, I'd get furious too. I'd throw hands. I'm like, yo, will you go and settle this? I'll put down the 6. We can settle this right now. Like, there's no way. It's
I'm
okay.
amazed. I'm amazed. It was all the. It was till. I'm amazed it happened. Like, but like significantly way further in. Usually it's like earlier. Man, he can't pick up that. It just gets louder.
James has learned from George how to mute just an end for a few seconds. So the people listening, you'll probably wonder what's going on. Well, Skylar had his phone ringing, or his phone, meaning, the house phone in his house. And then...
Yes, they
yeah.
still exist. Fact. They still exist. You good now? You good now, Skylar?
Good.
All right. I guess we'll just move on now. Since that's the end of our news for this week. I guess we'll just move on to learning with James. So, what's learning with James about?
Today, this is going to be pretty free reign. You can go where you know and where you don't, because I can't make it specific. Just tell us what you know about the anime industry.
Okay. Well, it's a fucking bitch to work in. I tell you that. Drastically long hours, very little sleep. Depending on what you're doing, what studio you work for, not a lot of pay. A lot of people want their shit anime. Like, a lot of people want their idol anime. Sometimes adaptations that deserve better don't get what they deserve. Examples being Junji Ito Collection and Berserk. God damn. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest. I don't know specifics.
I mean, anything you know. You could even go to the point of like naming the studios that you're aware exists and what they made. There we go. We can do that.
All right, studios I'm aware that of existing. Trigger made Kill la Kill and others, like the Claude S. Gridman that Claude is so very fond of for good reasons. Well, he likes the feet girl, so not great reasons, but I mean, there's a thick thigh girl in there too, so I guess it's fine. Didn't Studio Pierrot make Naruto? Pretty sure that was it. A1 Studios, I think they do mostly contract work, like they contract artists to come in. They don't have like specific artists that they have. Gainax, of course, made my favorite anime of all time, Evangelion. And I believe they also made Standalone Complex, which is like, I'm trying to remember the actual name of it. What is it? Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell. They made Ghost in the Shell. Standalone Complex being the anime version of the, yeah. What else is there? Fuck, I don't know the name of the studio, but I think was it A1 Studios also made Sword Art Online, unfortunately. There's a studio called Studio Mad Dog. I don't remember what they made exactly. There's Studio Ghibli, which makes all the Ghibli movies, like My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, all that jazz. God, I don't know a whole lot of studios at all, really. Studio Madhouse made the Hunter x Hunter anime adaptation in 2011. That was really good. No, there's a studio called Studio Mad Dog, for sure.
I didn't. There was an accident.
It's fine, but for those of you, obviously those of you couldn't see, but Skylar showed his hand. But no, there is a studio called Studio Mad Dog. I know that for a fact. I just don't know what they make, unfortunately.
Never heard of that studio myself, but.
And I think that's it for as far as studios that I know. Oh, and David Productions, because they make JoJo. They really make JoJo. It's so good.
First thing, the only thing that matters is that you're a fool. Like Gainax did not make anything related.
Production IG.
The only production.
Oh, you just looked it up? Oh no, you saw Skylar's hand, yeah. For Ghost in the Shell, Production ID did that. And it sounded like you were gonna say it was the anime version of. I didn't know if you were gonna try and say of Ghost in the Shell, like the original one, even though it's also anime. I didn't know where you were going with that, but you stopped that sentence. When you mentioned this, you kept saying A1 Studios. I mean, this is very minor. It's A1 Pictures.
Oh. Okay.
And as far as them, like, they don't have like people they contract. Like, everyone contracts. It really depends on what's going on. If they're gonna like.
A1 Pictures also is like they're like crazy in the sense that they don't have any creative staff on payroll. They even like recently made a studio that they kind of own subsidiary for, then dropped out of it. Like, I think it was like A1 Pictures right, who was A1 Pictures like made Cloverworks, right? Which is the studio that was credited with working on the second half of Frank's along with Trigger. And then A1 Pictures, if I remember correctly, recently pulled out completely from that entirely, and now Aniplex is the sole like overhead company for Cloverworks. Obviously, Cloverworks is now working on the Promised Neverland show. And they did.
I was wrong about Mad Dog Studios.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't a thing. I wrote down it's Madhouse, not Mad Dog.
No, I mean, no, but I thought they were two separate things. Like, I know Madhouse is one, but I thought there was a different studio called Studio Mad Dog.
Maybe you thought of Under the Dog for some reason.
Maybe.
Under the
Oh
Dog.
god, hold on, real quick. Oh god. Fallout 76 players are helping newbies by acting like NPCs.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I just saw it. That's fucking stupid and great, and I love it.
That Fallout 76 guy that was like that was like a bug made him live forever and he couldn't die. He just
Getting afraid for death, yeah.
This game is I'm begging for death. Please kill me.
From modders will fix our game for free to people will be NPCs in our game for free. God damn. Oh god, okay. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't know how much you know. I thought you'd know a bit more. But, that works.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
I mean, I didn't expect a lot. I didn't know what your level of knowledge was. I didn't expect you to like be either myself or Skylar because I wouldn't ask that question. That shit would take too long.
No, James, what do you know about the anime industry? It's like, well, it all started after the bombs dropped, and
you wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
You wouldn't be wrong also if you mentioned Disney.
Disney is also a good one.
Well, yeah, because Disney is the big part of it.
Or cabinets full of secret furry art. That is also a big one.
What?
The Astro Boy guy, he had a desk full of secret furry transformation art.
Suzuka, he loved the little mouse girls.
Yeah.
That was his deal.
He was big on it.
Okay.
Furries are your reason for anime. You're welcome.
It's nukes and America not allowing them to make their own like Japanese centered fucking bullshit. And then like they were big on Disney and they're like, we want to, I think
and
Toei
furries
was the first one. I think Toei was the first like big company over there to be like, we're gonna be the Japan of the East. Or not the Japan of the East, sorry, that's a dumb sense.
Disney,
we're gonna be the Disney of the East. And
That's
I don't remember
fine.
what movie they made, but it did
furry.
well, and then they just kept going, and the anime industry was born.
But Astro Boy Man was still a furry.
It's fine, whatever.
You're welcome.
I mean,
All
I didn't want to label him as that because furries weren't like officially labeled furries, and I don't know how much he did it, but whatever.
I'd have to go back and watch the Down the Rabbit Hole thing for furries, but furries were a thing like as early as maybe around the time with Disney. I'd have to go back.
Really? I thought furries were a thing like the 80s, 90s.
Like 70s, even possibly earlier.
Well, it would have to be earlier because the bombs were dropped in the 40s.
In 40s, right. But I mean, like, when did Astro Boy Man, when was he a thing? 60s? 50s?
50? God, now I gotta check. I want to say mid 50s, early 50s.
Yeah, double check that for me real quick.
I'm doing that right now.
Thank you. So that was Learning with James, and once Claude gets back to me with that information, we'll move on.
1952.
1952. Okay. Well, I'll have to go back on that down the rabbit hole and see when the earliest furry parties were happening. Yes, they were called furry parties for a minute, and it was literally just sharing art and talking about furry shit at hotel rooms and shit. It's nuts. So now is the part where we get into a big discuss. Big discuss is a topic that we usually have every week, where we just pick a topic and we talk about it at length until we're just ready to stop talking about it. And for this week's big discuss, we're talking about the Soul series, from Dark Souls 1 to Bloodborne, maybe a little bit of King's Journey or King's whatever it was fucking called.
Fucking ignoring Demon Souls.
Do not what? No.
No, what'd you guys say about Demon Souls? Did you play it?
I played a bit of it, yeah.
I liked it. I
also liked it. It was good. Climbing was weird, but yeah, it was good. Man, those servers went down this year. I just remembered that happened.
Yep.
Rip. Hey guys, what's your favorite Souls game?
Bloodborne.
Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 3. I hated 2 so much.
I love Scholar of the First Sin. Scholar of the First Sin, I think, fixes everything that was wrong with 2.
Nope. Didn't change my big issue. My biggest one, because I played like strength weapons and I use the greatsword most of the time, is, and I'll never not hate it for this. I'm pretty sure it might have been fine with other weapons, because your basic hit for your greatsword is a big overhead swing straight down. Yeah. Now in that game, and that's the only one in the series, if you are strafing to the side and you swing, your swing will go towards the direction you're strafing. So I can't like circle strafe and swing with a greatsword because I'll just completely miss. I have to circle strafe, and as I want to attack, I have to stop my strafe and then attack. And then like it's for someone who's played Demon Souls and then Dark Souls, like going to Dark Souls 2, because I didn't play Dark Souls 2 at launch. I played it when it was like the Skull of the First Sin expansion, all that shit came out.
Right.
And like dealing with that, I was like, wow, this is horseshit. I hate it. Like people meme about the fall damage. Fall damage is annoying, but like I'm not gonna really be too into that. And I absolutely hated the concept of like how the Pharaoh's lockbox worked, because there's an area you got to where there's 1 billion of them, and I was like, these keys, I don't find many of them. Like, I'm not the type of person who wants to look up a guide, but literally I have 1 key and there's like 5 areas I can go to. Some of them are literally nothing. Others will open great areas of the game for me, or great options, at least for me to pick up stuff. So it's like, I feel like I'm getting cheated on a lot of the stuff. I really hated a lot of the minor things in 2, which makes me dislike the game as a whole.
I mean, that's fair enough, I guess. I really enjoyed it because, I mean, Skull of the First Sin, I thought it was a really good way of, for one, it eventually did fix that 60 FPS bug. That was nice.
Yeah, that was whack. That was a whack.
Yeah, it was so whack. Holy shit. For those of you who didn't know, there's an issue where if you ran the game at 60 FPS, your items would deteriorate at twice the rate.
Yeah, because it was tied to frame rate, so your item would touch things for double the amount of frames, so it would cause your item to deteriorate faster.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, level design was bad, admittedly, but I enjoyed the combat. PvP was really varied. I thought some of the monster designs were really cool. The DLC was really fun. How Skull of the First Sin mixed all the levels up in a nice way was cool. I was a little soured by the the whole like lighting thing, but that got fixed when it came over to PC and had a different version that had better lighting.
It didn't have the lighting engine that they promised, though.
It didn't. It did not. Yeah, it just had better lighting.
Or it had lighting. Like you remember what the issue with lighting on the console version was, that it was like bullshit fake lighting.
Yes. Like a shade FX or whatever. I don't know. I enjoyed it more than most people will give it credit for. Personally,
I liked Dark Souls 2. I also didn't hate it, but I think it was probably because that was the game where I really got into the multiplayer stuff. Because that's something that I feel like Dark Souls 2 really did the best of all of the Souls games.
The multiplayer.
Nailing how multiplayer is supposed to work, making sure summons work good, making sure like the different co-op and covenants work. Really, the only covenant that was bad, that didn't work, was the Blue Sentinels, because literally no one in the universe would stay with the Way of Blue. Because why would you accept the I'm a pussy covenant forever? But everything else worked great, and there was like the dueling arenas and stuff, which were cool.
Which also nobody ever used, because you just find a better spot.
No, people use the Brotherhood of Blood one a lot. Like, that was a very common PvP spot. But no one used the Blue Sentinel one, though, because it required you to burn an item. That was hard. Oh, God. Because the Blue Sentinel one required you to have an item that you get for helping someone successfully in a Way of Blue thing. But no one would ever summon Way of Blue, so you could never get those items. Whereas the Brotherhood of Blood required an item that you would get for winning a duel in the Brotherhood of Blood arena, and they were also easy to find around the map. So you could just burn those items, and I almost never was out of them. And so if you were out, you could invade someone and get them that way. And so like there was like it was an arena that fed into itself basically. So as long as you were not terrible, you would usually be able to do it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, my favorite part, like, while I dislike Dark Souls 2 as a whole, like, the part I absolutely love conceptually and just in general most is the Pursuer. In like,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pursuer's really-
super well done.
They did Pursuer so well in Scholar of the First Sin. 2,
I
it
know-
was a little iffy, but
Cool.
Scholars did it perfect, where he just
Because, like,
shows up all the time.
I fucking hated it, but I loved it at the same time. Like, I fought this one, like, magma boss or whatever.
Yeah.
Suit armor or not. And I went through an area, and I went to the bonfire. I was like, okay, let me backtrack and go somewhere. I opened the door, and this nigga was just there. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Though, dude, and even in the original game, there was that fight in the throne room where it was to fight 2 pursuers at once.
Yeah,
And
that was
so hard.
yeah,
Holy
that was New Game Plus, thankfully.
Maybe I don't know
For
because remember that the one thing that I wish the other games did that Dark Souls 2 did that none of the other ones did was the bonfire acidic system. Where you
Yes.
can, the bonfire acidic where you burn it at a bonfire and it will make that area of the game New Game Plus. So what it means is that you can fight bosses again, just the New Game Plus version. It also meant that you could get New Game Plus items on your first run. So whenever I wanted to get, it was like I needed the soul from the spider boss to do a thing, but it was and I was like, for some reason I fucked it up. Maybe on the first one, or maybe you get something else for doing on New Game Plus. I forget. I needed its
Right.
soul to craft something, and so I was just like, well, I'll just bonfire acidic the thing, and then fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
And that's godlike. And none of the other games did that, which infuriates me. So yeah, so I think there are things about Dark Souls 2 that I think were cool. I think that its level design was weak. There are some areas that were cool, but I feel like places like the Gutter and like the Black Gulch and the Cursed Woods are all like, and like Earthen Peak are all like just kind of bad areas that are not like they're memorable to me because they were bad. I didn't like them.
It's because
Like,
Miyazaki
what?
wasn't working on the game.
Like Black Gulch to me just feels like because Black Gulch is just a hallway. It's literally just
Yeah.
a straight line, and it has those fucking statues that shoot toxic at you. And so you just have to go through the area slow as hell and break all the statues so they don't shoot poison at you. That's not fun or interesting. It's just annoying. And then like the Gutter. The Gutter was an area that was sucks, but only because they changed the lighting engine. Because that area was entirely built around the old lighting engine, and so when they changed it, it just stopped. Its gimmick stopped existing. Because that was the one where it was like completely dark. You have to light all the torches so that you can see the area, whatever. And so like it was supposed to be this really cool area with this like really dynamic lighting to show off the crazy engine they had, but it ended up just being kind of like this annoying, confusing, dark area that had a bunch of torches. And the only cool thing about that area is that when you leave it, you turn around and you see all of the torches that you lit, all so you can see the whole area, and that's kind of cool. But the effect of that zone was completely lost. There's just some things like that about the game that kind of annoy me. I still think it's good. I don't hate Dark Souls 2. I think it's a good game. It's my least favorite of the ones that exist. Just because of the stuff like that.
Yeah, it was definitely not as good as it could have been, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hold on a moment, I have to sneeze.
But Bloodborne though.
But Bloodborne was good. It was great.
Bloodborne is the game
PvP
where,
was
like,
shit.
Oh,
But
it's terrible. It's terrible. And it's the complete opposite, where it's like the multiplayer stuff in that game is bad. I don't like any of it. PvP sucks. I don't think I ever summoned anybody to help me with anything.
Yeah.
I used to help people fight Ludwig because that fight gives people trouble, and that was fun to help people fight that one. Because Ludwig is hard. Ludwig is not a fun time to fight against. Yeah, his first phase, Ludwig's first phase it was tough for a lot of people. because it's so hard to predict what he's doing because he's just flopping all over the place. And he's giant, and the zone that you're in is scary. He just jumps on the roof. Like, phase 1 Ludwig is nuts. He's like so aggressive. I don't know.
All right, so I fought Ludwig twice. I didn't actually beat him because like he wasn't in my actual like area I was trying to go to. Was Ludwig the one where it's like I got killed by some weird dudes and there was a cutscene and I got dragged into, because I didn't Bloodborne was one of the ones I didn't beat. I didn't beat Dark Souls 2. I got far in that one, but I got sick and tired of the game and I dropped it. I didn't beat Bloodborne mainly because I moved on to something else. I actually have Bloodborne and I just don't really restart it. But was Ludwig, I might be confusing with something. Was it the giant wolf thing?
No, that was Parl. The Ludwig was the DLC areas.
Okay, then I wouldn't have played that. Like,
yeah.
I think the biggest roadblock I've ever fought in like a Souls game that wasn't DLC based, because Dark Souls 3, like I have this thing where I'm gonna try hard at that shit, where I will not fight a boss with help. I will fight a boss on my own each time. And there was the boss of the Ashes of whatever, the first DLC for Dark Souls 3. Yeah, and the boss that has fucking 3 stages. I would always die at the 3rd stage. That one gave me a lot of problems. But as far as non-DLC, I've never run into a fight that like threw me off as much as Father Gascoigne.
Father Gascoigne was so fun. I love that fight actually.
It's great, but like I got so fucking frustrated. I was like, because he'd get into a second form where like he's just fucking beast, right? And it would be so difficult to get him off of you. He was so aggressive. And I would always get close to killing him, but I think that took me like 50 tries. Like, I can't think of anywhere else in the Souls series, for whether it was me at the very beginning of playing Souls games or like towards the end, they gave me as much of a problem as that. Maybe it's because it plays differently than Bloodborne, because it prioritizes aggression over like slow, methodical gameplay.
Yeah, like I think Father Gascoigne was the fight that got me to think about Bloodborne fights differently, because instead of like backing off and doing Souls things, you really have to just keep on him, or else like if you spend too long trying to like perfectly like space out and get some space, you'll just back yourself into a corner and you'll die. So you really just have to like meet him halfway, keep in his face basically. Right, and that's kind of how that fight works.
He has a really cool cutscene when you first get to him.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm sad they fucking changed his win quote, because it used to be a line from Demon Souls, but I forget what it was. But it was like in Demon Souls there's an NPC in the Nexus that's like part of this church, and he always like ends conversations with almost like an amen kind of thing, but it's like obviously changed for the setting. And he used to end fights in the beta for Bloodborne with that sentence also, but they changed it whenever the game came out, which I think is weird.
Are we talking about Gascoigne?
Yeah, Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, what it was, Umbasa. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
For those who weren't aware, did you already explain Umbasa?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the priest from Demon Souls 1, or just from Demon Souls that's in the Nexus, and he's like, hey.
No, you were right to say Demon Souls 1. I believe Demon Souls 2 will eventually come out once I die.
Eventually come out, yeah. Yeah, man. I think, well, also the thing with Father Gascoigne, right, was that he had like a built-in, like, make this fight easier button, which was the music box, which would causes him to transform into the wolf form immediately, but then it also distracts him. Like, he doesn't move for like a couple of seconds. You just hit him.
Music box?
Yeah, so there's like so if you go around, you'll find his daughter, right? And his daughter is like in like in the window, like because every NPC in this city talking to their door.
Yeah.
So his daughter's like, hey, my dad left a while ago. I'm super spooked. Also, my mom is left to go find him. She hasn't been back for a while. My dad gets kind of crazy, But sometimes whenever he gets like a little bit nuts, my mom would take out the music box and we'll calm him down. And then she gives you the music box to go in case you find him or whatever. And she mentions that her mother has a red brooch as well. Like if you see that, you'll know it's my mom. So you go to the fight with Father Gascoigne, and if you use the music box during the fight like an item, it'll that's what it does. It causes him to immediately turn into his wolf form, and then it also I think if you use it 3 times, it'll stun him and he won't be able to move for a couple of seconds. And then obviously when you win the fight, you can go explore the arena a little bit. There's like a lady that fell off like a ledge, and if you loot her body, she has the red brooch, so she died. And so you go give it back to the little girl, and she'll be like, "Oh, I guess everyone's dead. That sucks." And then I think she just sits and cries for the entire game.
Oh, you can't send her over to one of the 2 safe areas?
I think she refuses to talk to you. So I think so there's that. And then if you lie to her, you can tell her something, but then she dies trying to make it there because there's like a big giant enemy that's like down the ladder from where her window is. So you go back and you I think you get like the bloodied ribbon from her corpse. She gets smashed by like one of those golem dudes with the big pillars. And then you can give those to the little minions or whatever they're called. As decoration. Yeah. That's one of the side quests in like the first area in Bloodborne, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your guys' favorite bosses fights in the series?
Lady Maria is mine for sure. Lady Maria of the Clock Tower.
I never played Lady Maria, but I saw it and it looked pretty interesting. Of the ones I played, I would say, probably go with Ornstein and Smell.
Really? I feel that's a good one. I guess my favorite from Dark Souls 1 is still Artorias.
Ornstein and Smell teach you a valuable lesson in upgrading your items.
Yeah.
Or getting good.
You can't really. I mean, you can.
You can do it.
You can do it, and you can do anything in Dark Souls if you're autistic enough. But like realistically, they set the stage as to like, no, you should be upgrading your weapons.
Yeah.
You can get through the entire game without a single upgrade. Like, you don't have to.
I mean, yes. Like I said, if you're autistic enough, you can do anything in Dark Souls.
Why does it have to be autism? Why isn't that just skill? Because it's not like you can still play the same, just play at a higher skill. No, like it's not like, oh, I'm doing something that's so insane it's ridiculous.
I mean, probably because like the guy that played and beat Dark Souls on a Guitar Hero controller.
That's a whole different thing.
No, that takes skill, but it's still autistic. Like it's like
But that's not something that literally everyone can do. Like if you gave this game to everyone and was like, there's no upgrades, there's some people who'd quit, but a lot of people would still be able to do it. But if you're just like, here's a Guitar Hero controller, something that no one was meant to play the game with, it just can work. Like that, that's completely. That's not even comparable.
I can also say not everybody can beat the game without a single upgrade or level up.
But you were able to. Like, it's not the same as.
Yeah, you're also able to beat the game with. You're also able to beat the game with a Guitar Hero controller. Just because you're able to do it doesn't mean that not every. Because by your logic, because you're able to do it, no, that's not how that works.
I think that the game is balanced around upgrades though, because there are some boss fights that would be almost impossible without upgrades. Like the Four Kings in Dark Souls 1, without good DPS, literally get fucked because that fight is almost impossible if more than one summon at a time.
Yeah, just because you're able to do it in the game doesn't mean that you're like.
I don't attribute. Like, oh, I'm able to do it without having to upgrade as autistic, versus like
it does because it takes a significant because it takes a significant amount of dedication, time, and development of the skill to be able to do that. Not your average player is not able to do that.
Because it takes an
autistic amount. Hypothetically speaking, someone played a ton of
do that.
hypothetically
Well,
speaking,
well,
someone was just very
it's-
good at Demon Souls. It was their favorite game. They're just very good at it. Then they get Dark Souls, and they're like, "Hey, I wonder if I can do this." No extra thing on their part. Just like I'm just playing the game like I was playing Demon Souls, and I'm good enough at it where I don't need to do upgrades. Is that person instantly autistic?
The person was probably autistically playing Demon Souls to be
Oh my God.
to that up capacity.
But
Yes.
I say that the thing that gets it to me is that you more often see soul level 1 playthroughs than you do no upgrade playthroughs. Even people that do soul level 1 stuff like have like plus 15 fucking whatever sword they have, and that's that's their thing. I mean, I don't know. Why it's whatever. It's fucking everyone who plays Dark Souls is autistic. That's my stance.
Yeah.
Everyone is autistic in some way.
Everybody. All right. So yeah, my
Anyway,
favorite bosses aren't Sea of
anyway.
Smoke because they're a good lesson for players.
Abyss Watchers for me. I had so much fun in that boss fight. The theme
That
is
one
great.
was also good.
And I saw them rising. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a problem. And then they started fighting each other. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I purposely lost that boss fight the first time, and I beat the second time because I wanted to see that like scenario happen again.
Yeah, I feel like Lady Maria for me is my favorite because of the just the cool factor for like the level of her like escalation of her boss fight, because it's like it's like a Virgil type boss fight where it's one of those hunter versus hunter style fights, which are always the best in that game. But then like with Gehrman's thing is he just transforms his weapon and that's his second phase, right? But with Lady Maria, she transfers back and forth through the whole game, through the whole fight, and so her phases are just that second phase is she extends her attacks with like by shooting blood out of the end of her sword, basically. So she gets like a blood blade outside of her normal sword thing, which is fucking cool. And then the third phase of the fight is she extends it further with the blood, but she also has a second attack on all of her attacks where she ignites the blood in midair on fire. So all of her attacks are this really weird, like two-pronged attack where she'll send the blood out and then it'll catch on fire and it's a double hitbox kind of thing. And the effect looks fucking cool, and it's just like her moves are so rad that she's fucking cool as hell to fight against.
I should go back to Dark Souls or to Bloodborne.
So cool. And her theme is fantastic as well. It's an incredible theme. I love it so much. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
What's the worst Souls boss in your guys' opinion?
Rotten.
Really?
No.
Back to Thunder?
No, all right. From Dark Souls 2, it's the big fat thing. What's that called?
Yeah, Ceaseless Discharge.
No.
That's the lava guy in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, Dark Souls
He's the
2.
big fat thing in 2.
Sorry, fuck, what was his name? Shit.
I think it was in the
It-
ice. I was in the ice DLC.
I think in Dark
No,
Souls.
no, there is a version of him in the ice DLC, but the initial fight is in
There's no SDLC for Dark Souls 2. There's
ice DLC. Yeah, there is.
In Dark Souls
Ice-
2?
Yes, with the
Right,
Snow
no,
Kingdom.
It's the big giant castle that's like you have to walk across the chain to get
Yes,
in. Yeah, okay.
yes, with all the ice and the snow.
I forgot about that one. The only memorable thing from that DLC for me was the Feud Knight, because he was cool.
Mine's probably gonna be somewhere in Dark Souls 2 because I really didn't like that one. I remember getting to some of the boss and like this was either easy and like I didn't care, or it's like I thought that was lame. I don't remember what happened with some knight thing that had a shield mirror and it would make a copy of you.
Mirror Knight, and it
But,
would
like,
be.
I shat on that boss fight so quickly I didn't actually have a problem with it. And I was like, I guess that's
Well, 'cause
fine.
The copy, it wouldn't be a copy of you; it would be another player.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be
That's
another
how it's
player.
supposed to work.
I think
Yeah.
they were
Yeah, but
trying
like,
to do like the Demon Souls boss, where instead of the boss is just a summon of another player.
yeah, that was my favorite part of Demon Souls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Although
whatever
that boss
reason,
fight
the
was
net
awful.
code didn't work on that, unfortunately.
The boss fight is now impossible to complete as well because you play it as a new player, and everyone that does it is like soul level 1 billion.
Yeah. Soul level 1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I remember doing that, and like I guess so. If it was another player at that point in time, I guess he just sucked because I didn't have a single issue in that fight. I thought it was just making a copy.
I mean,
just-
if it wasn't a player, then it would automatically make a copy. Yes.
Well, then, you know, whatever it was, I didn't have any issues dealing with that and the boss, and I beat that boss super quick, and I was like, I guess. I mean, if it was supposed to be cool, that was lost on me, and it didn't work.
Damn, that's a shame.
I think the one I meant was Covetous Demon from Dark Souls 2, which sucks. Also, the one in Dark Souls 2 that's like the priest in his congregation or whatever, where it's like
the super nothing boss. You just kind of find him. There's not even any lore to them.
It wasn't even have to find him. It was just like an elevated, like it was basically an enemy that wouldn't respawn. That was just hard, but still not a boss. And then just a bunch of mooks, basically.
Yeah.
It was barely a boss fight.
You talking about Dark Souls 3?
Dark Souls 2.
Okay, so you're not talking about the Aldrich stuff?
No,
No.
it was like
Okay.
it was
You
like
walk into a room and there's a priestess in the center, and then like a bunch of mooks crawling on the ground.
Yeah, and it's just you have to kill the priest or whatever the fuck, and then the fight ends. And
Yeah.
it's super nothing. It's a super nothing fight.
The most.
I think the most bullshit though was the one where it was like the Royal Rat.
Royal Rat
the
Brigade?
Yeah, the
there's-
Royal Rat. Yeah, see, that's what he's
there's
referring
two-
to. But yes,
there's
the
two Royal Rat fights.
Okay.
I'm not sure we're thinking of the right one. There's the
Royal-
one where
The Royal
Yeah,
Rat. I'm
there's-
telling you the
there's-
name of it. The Royal
no, but
Rat
there's
Covenant.
there's two different ones. There's Royal
I
Rat
know
Vanger.
there are. I know there are. And the
But
one
you know which one I'm talking about yet. I haven't said anything.
you're talking about the one where you have to find the
No.
find the rat.
I'm talking about
Just
the
let him
other.
answer. Just let him answer.
I'm talking about the other one where it's the giant rat, and then he has like 4 mooks that cause toxic,
Yeah.
and you can't. And so you enter the boss arena, and you have to try and fucking kill the things that cause toxic before the thing aggroes. And the fight was incredibly hard because those things move so fast, and the boss moves fast. So you would just die of toxic before you could really do anything. In that boss fight, it was the worst.
Yeah, it was Royal Rat Authority.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, James. You knew what I was talking about before I even said what I was talking about.
They did. Anyway, yeah, that was a pretty bullshit fight. I thought the Royal Rat Vanguard was kind of more boring. The Royal Rat Authority was annoying.
I hated. Okay, yeah, sorry, I was busy. I hated that fight. That's the exact same. It's like it's not even hard. It's just they were fast, and if you got clipped once, every time I got clipped, I put down my controller. I'd let them kill me and run back because it's like dealing with toxin while those things are as fast as they are, and dealing with them is like, nah, it's not even worth it. Fucking hated it.
Yeah, that fight sucks. Also, I hated that Dark Souls 2 has so many reused bosses. Like Smelter Demon has just a blue one. Fight the blue one now.
Yeah, fight the blue one, and then fight the blue one and the red one together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark Souls 2 had a lot of problems, unfortunately.
It did. But there are some stuff.
We haven't really talked at all about. That's how you mentioning Ormsey and Smoke. Like we haven't really talked about Dark Souls 1, and like it seems like we talked about the other two a bit.
Dark Souls 1 is the only one I haven't beaten, so
I love that game.
it's a good game.
It's the
The only
first one
one-
that like made me love like level design, because it's like that like when I realized how like the level like would like link in through each other, my little brain was blown. Like I was like, what? I unlock this one door and I go through the sewers? This is so cool.
Yeah, it was great.
But the thing that's weird for me is that when I played the Souls games, I played Demon Souls first, and it was really hard. And I was a tiny child. I only barely managed to beat it, and I was like, wow, that was fucking rough. And then I got Dark Souls when it came out, like years later. Like, not, it was like years after it came out. My friend told me to get it, and I got like kind of far. Then I hit Sen's Fortress, and I was like, this area sucks. I hate it, and I'm gonna quit. And so I put the game down for a long time. And then Dark Souls 2 came out. And I actually played and beat Dark Souls 2, and then that inspired me to go back and finish Dark Souls 1. So I and then Sen's Fortress is not as bad as I remembered it being. It's just that there was like,
is fine.
it's fine. It's way more manageable when you find the bonfire. Because without the bonfire, it's really annoying still. Because it's just like the run back to the roof is really annoying if you don't have the bonfire, because it's so long and you can't just run through it. You actually have to like be careful, else you fall and die.
Yeah, or God forbid get hit with arrows, or the fucking rock. What's your favorite boss theme?
Lady Maria also.
Mine is Lord Gwen's.
Soul of Cinder.
Yeah, Gwen, Lord of Cinder is a real that. Yeah,
It's a good track.
yeah, Gwen, Lord of Cinder might be my favorite also. But I love Lady Maria's. That one's more like typical Souls boss style. But Gwen's theme is amazing.
Is that who is that? Punch him
My
in the
dad.
throat. Punch him in the throat.
That's my father.
And who's your favorite? Claude, did you say?
Yeah, Soul of Cinder.
Soul Cinder. That's What's funny is Soul Cinder's boss theme actually includes bits of Lord Gwyn's theme.
Yeah,
So-
that was.
Of Soul Cinder's boss fight, he just turns back into Gwen.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because I like Gwen's. It's just because it catches you off guard, and that's the defining piece to let you know, especially when his moveset changes, to let you know that's just it just works so well when you're in the boss fight and you get to the second stage of the boss fight and the music changes, like
Actually,
because
lost.
it's
We started doing Gwen's move. It was the thing where I was playing the final boss, and I think I don't remember if I beat him on my first try, but it was like first or second try. So it was like my friend was there watching me, and he had beat the game already, so he was like expecting me to lose my shit. And then when he did, he was like, "Wow, you beat that boss way easier than I did."
Yeah, I remember beating him on first try. He almost got me, but I beat him on first try, and I loved it.
Who's your favorite boss lore-wise?
Artorias, probably.
Artorias is cool, but
Again, he's just guts. Again.
He's just got skill.
okay, I got my. Sorry, you go, James.
I was going to say unnamed king. Or
Oh, the
prince?
Nameless King.
Nameless king.
Nameless-
Thank you.
I mean, Nameless King is cool, but that's all like speculation, though. Like
I mean,
he's cool,
it's pretty obvious at this point who
Yeah.
he is.
I guess.
It's
I
not
don't
even,
think anyone can beat Aldrich, if I'm being 100% honest.
in terms of
because-
lore. Yeah,
Everybody?
Yes, because it starts off as like the beginning of the game, Aldrich, Saint of the Deep, and then you get to the castle where where his area where he's at the church, and you do his little boss fight there, and then you look at the items and stuff, and you found out that they moved him. And then you find more lore when you get to the tower, but you don't get to the boss fight, where it's like, he's up top, and like I don't remember what they changed his name from Aldrich, Saint of the Deep to something else first. And then you get to the boss fight where he's like eating Gwendolyn, and the boss fight's renamed. His name in there is Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. And then you read certain items, and it's like, yeah, no, they captured Gwendolyn, and basically threw him in there with Aldrich, and Aldrich was just eating him. So that's why like the whole like flopping around Gwendolyn. It's just like being puppeted because Aldrich is in the middle of eating. That entire floor, sticky gunk, is Aldrich. So it's like, it's boss lore that evolves as you go further in the game. And the name, and jumping from Saint of the Deep to Devourer of Gods is the sickest shit.
yeah, it's pretty hype. As Eldritch horror as you play it.
He was an Eldritch horror at the beginning. They just kept feeding people to him. Like he was just a dude, and he just keep eating people. And then he got too big to eat people on his own. So his church were feeding him people. And then he turned from a man into like
goop.
gunk. Yeah.
Just fuck it. I'll be Goop now.
His fight was easy as hell though. It wasn't that hard.
I couldn't beat him on my own. I had to summon a guy, and then I died right as he beat him. It was really
I
sad.
Did beat him on my own, but I had issues with timing his attacks at first.
I think the most difficult boss fight in Dark Souls 3, aside from Nameless King, for me was the fucking dude in the church with the two swords. I forget his name.
Oh, Pontiff Sullivan.
Pontiff,
Yeah.
Where he had a fucking stand that was just him.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the greatest.
Yeah, I didn't have too much problems with that.
Me neither.
Like, my issues in that game were Nameless King was the hardest boss fight. It's the only Dark Souls boss fight outside of the one from the DLC when I put down the game for a bit. Like, I got so frustrated, I just stopped. Because, like, you know what? This nigga's not in my way. I don't have to fight him. I'm going to beat the game. Because, I literally went to go deal with him when I was at the area to go to fight Soulless Cinder.
You know what fight was fucking rad was Yorn the Giant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you did Siegmeyer stuff.
His storyline, yeah, and kept saving him.
Well, not Siegmeyer. What was his name? It was something else.
Siegfried? Is there Siegmeyer or
Siegmeyer, Sieglind, and then Siegfried, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just stroll up at that boss fight like a boss. Like he was so cool.
It was so cool. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Let's see, is there anyone else? I'm trying to think if there's any other bosses that like I really liked.
Really, Nameless King was a great boss in Dark Souls 3. Like, that boss was pretty fucking hard. Like, it's not even at first phase. The second phase, though, is...
Second phase is fucked up. It's
So
the
hard.
big thing that gets me in Dark Souls, which is like they know, and because they do it very well, is there'll be a certain times where they'll just make the animation seem like someone's going to attack. Like, it's consistent. But they'll make it look like they do their swing like a split second earlier, so you dodge roll while they're still charging up what you thought they were swinging. So they it just fucks with your timing, and that's probably what they do the best, in my opinion, to make a boss fight hard.
Yeah.
Oh, man, fucking goddamn! I can't wait to see what their to see how
Sekiro's gonna be like...
yeah, and then anything they make after that.
Bloodborne 2.
Yeah. Soulsborne 2. What about Terracine? Does anyone know anything about that?
I heard that it's really good.
I know
What
that
the-
it's about fairies or something. There's fairies in it.
Well, I didn't know I was in the game.
And the fairies are evil. They're evil fairies. So it is about you.
Damn.
Oh, wow, fucking just got fucking ripped. Damn, I don't even know how. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to continue the podcast. So I guess we'll just.
I don't know if you can either. I think that was it for you.
Yeah.
Damn. I guess anybody have any closing thoughts before we end? Or
Yeah, last thing is each person give your list from favorite to least favorite for the Souls
Okay.
games.
okay, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3.
Wait, what was that list?
Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne,
Start
Dark
with the
Souls
first-
1. Yeah, Scholar the first sin, obviously. Scholars, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3.
What did you dislike about Dark Souls 3 that much? Or is it just that it didn't stand up for you as much?
It didn't stand up to me as much because I don't think it did a whole lot to really change things up with Dark Souls. It felt like a step back in a lot of ways. It's how do I describe it? Okay. It took away some of the things that I liked from Dark Souls 2.
Like
It didn't take rather like power stancing was one. I love power stancing.
you got your
3.
special moves.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't really like that system. I didn't.
Oh man, the
use
weapon
it.
art was cool for the what is it, Wolf Knight Greatsword or whatever that is.
Yeah, or
Like
you're
where you
just gonna
stab the
spin
dagger on
it.
the floor. It's super fucking cool.
PvP was also pretty boring. Like
There was one
There were-
area where you would do it really, and that's it.
and there's not really any a lot of variety. Magic was pretty fucking worthless really early on. It never got better. It actually only got worse.
Magic in Dark Souls in the Soul series is always like, it was OP at first in DS1, and then
it was great in Scholars. They made that shit great in Scholars.
I played Strength at that point. It's weird how I even started playing Strength. It's literally, I started playing Dark Souls, and I started as a mage character because I was like, yeah, magic, cool, whatever. And then like I got to a certain point, and I think I killed, like I did something that was like I fucked myself over. I was like, fuck, all right, let me just do another character. Now I remember I was gonna build towards the Moonlight Greatsword, and there was something I fucked up. I don't remember what it was. And I made a new character, and before I even fought the like first boss, when I fought that Black Knight, I got the Black Knight sword, which like I was like, oh fuck, all right, and what's this, strength? Let me just go with that, and it just carried me through the entire game, and that's how I even got in strength. So I didn't even bother with magic. I'd always do my first playthrough strength, and then when I go for a second playthrough magic, just so I could have the Moonlight Greatsword, or intelligence and faith, or whatever they decided to do for that game.
Yeah, I always do a strength build every time. Strength build.
Way to go.
I'll do strength or dex. I mix and match.
In Bloodborne, I had a quality build, but it was just because the Ludwig's Holy Blade had S scaling for both Arcana and Arcane and Strength. But I just did a quality build between those two stats, which ended up being pretty great because that weapon was like busted basically. But yeah, but that's like that was his great sword. I always want the great sword. You should just give it to me. That's what I want.
As far as your comment about like, I mean, I'm not gonna like, it's your opinion on it, you know, and that's valid. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say Dark Souls 3 is a step back. Like, because I'll agree with you when you say it's like it didn't really add anything major. You know, the weapons arts things is like that's on you if you like it or not. I use it for a couple weapons, but not even that much. I'd say instead of a step back, I'd say it's like a more of a lateral step from Dark Souls 1, where it didn't really add anything fantastic, but it polished areas. And I mean, as a whole, I feel like it worked well. Like, it had some phenomenal boss fights, because I didn't particularly care for a lot of the boss fights in Dark Souls 2. The only one I can like think about off the top, I'm like, I loved that boss fight, was the Pursuer. But if I had to do my own list, it would be Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, even though I didn't finish it, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, my list obviously is Bloodborne at first, and then like Dark Souls 3 equals Dark Souls 1. I have a hard time picking if I like which one over the other. But then Dark Souls 2. No, I never played Scholar over the first thing, so I don't really have any. I've heard it play better. But yeah, that's me. I actually love the weapon art system from Dark Souls 3. I used it a lot. So I think that's a big reason why I like it a lot. Also, I just love the level design and areas in Dark Souls 3. I think there's a lot of really great areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us on this week's Weekly Dadcast. I've been your host, James, with Big House's Big Dick Skylar and slightly bigger ego Claude. And meanwhile, I'm over here in the James corner. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching it, listening to us from Podbean,
the James corner sounds sinister.
You're watching. If you're hearing us on Podbean, thanks for checking us out. If you found us on iTunes, you can download us at weeklydadcast.podbean.com. Make sure to hit us up on Twitter at officialdadcast. And send in your fan questions at officialdadcast@gmail.com. What was that email, Skylar?
officialdadcast@gmail.com. What, Claude?
You get told you have to go to the James corner. What's your first thought?
I say on my prayers and prepare myself to leave the mortal coil.
All right. Bye.